Hello, everybody. What's that? Oh, damn it.
Was that me?
That might have been me.
That was you.
Ah, damn it.
I don't even know if the mic got
I'm sorry. Yes.
Waiting is suspensefully.
I waited for so long to start the episode, and then when I do, it vibrates. You know what that is ESPN letting me know that the college football playoff committee has selected their top 25.
Is that right? Is your phone cracked?
What?
It just looked like it was cracked.
It might be. I hit it hard enough most of the time to...
It's not.
No, it's probably just the case. So anyway, hello everybody. How's it going? We're back.
Happy spoopy Halloween.
That's right. It's Halloween. We're recording on Halloween.
Yes.
We spent... Dave took the day. And I showed him how to make the red lead.
Oh my god.
Ben came over at around 3. And we watched... maybe one of the worst movies I think I've ever seen.
Most likely to die.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Terrible.
You can watch it right now. It's on Netflix. Don't.
I feel like the movie it wants you to care real bad.
Oh, God.
And it's almost telling you to care, but you don't have to.
But you don't have to care.
Yeah. Yeah, looking back on it, there wasn't that much murder or action or anything. It
was poker puns.
Yeah.
It was, poker puns and shitty characters who couldn't move past high school, a confusing plot with twists that don't make sense.
It had a false Busey.
It had a false Busey.
We expected it to be a Busey, but it was not.
It was not a Busey. It was a false Busey. It was Perez Hilton.
Perez Hilton, who is not
Who's
a Busey.
not Lil Buse.
Lil Buse.
This film features Gary Busey's son.
Yeah.
Terry Busey. It's Jake, right?
Jake Busey.
Jake Busey.
Yeah.
But it's not the guy you think it is. The guy you think it is actually Perez Hilton.
It was just because he's so god-awful ugly, we assumed he was Gary Busey's son.
There is actually Gary Busey's son in the movie, but it's not the guy we thought it was.
He's got a head like a head of lettuce that's been rolled over by a Mack truck.
I really thought he looked more like Ron Perlman.
Kinda.
I thought it was weird that Gary Busey's son looked like Ron Perlman.
Little Pearl.
He looked the whole time as though he was melting.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, don't watch that.
Don't watch that movie. It was horrible. And then we
Waste your
watched the ABCs of Death, where we watched up until the point where it just got too real.
It was exactly. It was a lot of interesting little vignettes, and then it started to toy around with a pedophilia thing.
Yeah,
I was
I'm out.
nope, I don't want to watch this anymore.
I'm out. There's only so much I can get into before.
Don't recommend you watch that. Honestly,
don't. It started out cool, but
it got pretty fucking dark.
But we had sauce. We had delicious pasta sauce for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah. We locked the doors, turned the front light out, put a bowl of candy out, shut the blinds, and
nobody bothered us.
Nobody bothered us the whole time.
Not one person came up to the door demanding candy.
Put it out on a bowl, and there was candy left.
There was still candy left. So
I have a strange feeling nobody took just one piece, because why would you do that?
Oh, hey, if it was me, I'm out there.
Yeah, you're taking a handful, right?
Yeah, sure.
Which is cool, you know, but there was still some candy left, so good on those kids for not being little shits and ruining it for everybody else.
Yeah.
But, pretty good. Pretty successful Halloween,
yeah,
I think. It's time to move on past that, because trick-or-treating's done, and Halloween is almost at an end.
Yeah.
And, gentlemen, we are fucked.
We are fucked.
We are indeed fucked.
You want to tell us why we're fucked?
Do I?
Yeah.
I think we should start with you, Dave.
I thought you were going to dodge me.
Yeah, no.
I really, you fooled, fooled me again.
Why are we fucked?
I am... okay, so for this is going to feel so repetitive, but I'm just going to get this out of the way. There was a job that I was looking at that I had interviewed for.
Yeah, you've talked about this on
Yes, and I talked about it before. Today I got the email that I was not going to get a position, and that was okay with me because I was pretty sure at that point I really didn't want to go.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm fucked because even though I didn't want it, the fact that I lost it pisses me off.
Here's the thing: you lost it to somebody who was in the organization.
Right, exactly.
You can't compete with that.
Right, someone else moved in.
You're not going to compete with that.
And that's, again, it's fine, because I was pretty sure I didn't want to go, but just having been defeated feels like,
but, Here's the thing. Sorry, that probably sounded
Jesus,
great on the mic. Sorry, tapping out my pipe. My pipe. No, but dude, you're never gonna beat a lateral transfer. You're never gonna beat it. It's just not gonna happen.
Like I said, super fine with me. Not losing any sleep over it, except that it's still
Except that I'm losing sleep over it, and I still feel like a failure. Now, were you going to take the job if they offered it to you?
Probably not.
Well, then don't get broken up about it. That's the silliest.
It's so
thing.
stupid, right?
Yeah, it's not worth it. You're never going to compete with somebody who's in the organization. The only reason they probably put that out there is because they had to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Which I guess might not make you feel better because you probably just went through all that shit for nothing. But,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they were very nice about it. I was nice about it. It's super cool. I really like where I work. I really like the people I work with.
yeah.
And you know what? You can't put a dollar amount on that.
No, you can't.
I mean,
It's important. Happiness is important. Happiness!
Someone told me too, and it was a good...
warm bowl of pasta. I don't know.
Someone told me too. It's a good point. It's like the devil you know is one thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I'm used to where I am and all that. I know the ins and outs of it. You know, I can go out and smoke without feeling like weird. So,
Sorry.
what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm pushing my glasses up with my pipe.
Why are you doing that?
And my glasses were too far down my nose.
Anyway, yeah, I'm fucked because I decided to be pissed off about something that I actually am not pissed off about.
Great. Ben, great. Why are we fucked, Ben?
We are fucked because the news is a joke anymore.
Yeah, it is.
Just yesterday, a report came out from a program courtesy of NBC called Think. And what this segment said, it was like a 20-minute thing. It's on YouTube. Probably not for much longer because it's getting blasted to hell. With downvotes and people complaining. Because the title of it is How Gamers Helped Facilitate the Rise of the Alt-Right. And what their thesis boils down to is that because Discord exists, Nazis were able to communicate with each other.
What?
And
wait, that's their point?
Yeah, Discord, not Discord as in like chaos or disorder.
No,
but Discord as in the chat program.
Server,
the chat program for gamers.
What? So they're gonna blame the gaming community as a whole?
Yeah, because the gaming community facilitated the rise of the alt-right because we wanted a communication platform that didn't suck.
Wow.
And that was newer than IRC.
This sounds an awful lot like Marilyn Manson orchestrated the Columbine shooting.
It sure does.
Oh yeah. It's
like guilt by association shit.
Right.
But you know, I decided kind of that two can play at that game, and I will pause it, and I want someone from NBC to get in contact with me about this and try to rebut it. I posit that NBC helped facilitate the rise of the alt-right because they use cell phones and Nazis also use cell phones.
There you go.
Fucking prove me wrong.
Yeah, put that in your news pipe and smoke it.
I am declaring here for the record that NBC helped Nazis come to prominence in America for the first 20 years.
The Nazi Broadcast Corporation.
I'm going to go further here and say that, and I think we've talked about this on the show before, the fact that there's money in the news media and advertising helped bring upon the rise of the alt-right.
Yeah, sure.
I put my left hand up. The alt-right.
That hand.
Uh,
and the quote-unquote alt-left, the Antifa movement.
Let's be real. Let's be honest. This is what giving everyone equal time gets you.
Correct.
No, there are positions that are absurd, and you shouldn't be featuring these people in your fucking interviews and giving them publicity.
I think
you are shit, NBC. Fuck you.
Yeah.
There's a reason I don't watch TV, and you are one of the big ones now.
This is the problem. It's like the media is distinctly lacking a straight man. Mm-hmm. There's no NPR isn't even.
Well. the Associated Press tends to be
Pretty unbiased.
fairly
Yeah.
objective.
Yeah, and I guess that's probably where I'm going to have to go.
Yeah,
For-
to get your
yeah.
news.
Yeah.
Reuters
yeah.
is also good.
I mean, like, even NPR, and I am a registered Democrat, but even NPR is, like, left-leaning. And, like...
Well, then again, I mean, just because what you're hearing in the news seems to reflect a sort of left of center approach. It doesn't mean that they're left. The center's moved too.
Remember the old saying, reality has a liberal bias.
Sure, that's true. Well, I agree, but, like... I don't know, man. It's something like the news used to be a public service,
right?
That was provided to you, and there was no.
Now it's just something for people to say, "How look, it's on the news, so I was right."
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like it used to be a public service brought to you by a variety of different people
Right.
who would like be shunned by their. Fellow newscasters for in like okay, Cronkite was the first really to like put his opinion in when he was doing the Vietnam he got
blasted.
He got fucking blasted
Right.
for that. Like like the news is a public service. You're not supposed to put your own, which is funny to us now because that's pretty much every
it's hard to imagine news and opinion remaining completely separate.
Everything on CNN, everything on Fox News. There's. Those are the two like extremes of the spectrum, like.
Then you want to talk about Fox? I mean, my favorite thing right now, floating around Twitter, is it'll be like a series of things like CNN right now, Manafort, NBC right now, Manafort. Fox News right now, Obama might have been blacker than we thought.
That's true. But I'm saying, like in the instance of fairness,
Yeah.
I mean, we can all agree, right, that CNN does pretty much cater to the.
I don't know. That's the thing. It's hard for me to determine that.
I think they do.
You think?
I think they do. I
don't have an answer to that.
I think if you watch it, I watch it now. Being older and jaded and just going like, come on, it's too much sometimes. The fucking leftist shit gets on my nerves. Not nearly as much as the rightist shit does.
Yeah,
it gets on my fucking nerves.
It is irritating.
It is irritating.
I mean, I've never felt more of a centrist than I do in 2017.
People used to just be presented the information and were made to make judgments on it based on their own lives.
Yeah.
Rather than having people kind of like tell you or guide you to what to believe,
Yeah, it's as much about what they're reporting as what they're saying as what they're choosing to report and what they're not.
Correct. And how they're doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like how it's presented to you. So
Yeah.
So ultimately we're fucked because no one at NBC recognized the irony of calling a program Think, wherein you are presented shit that's made up.
How fucking condescending, too.
yeah.
They think.
Yeah.
Just think
Here's
about
some
it,
food
dummy.
for thought.
I know.
Have you ever thought about gamers? Have you ever thought about those weird, lonely shut-ins who play video games and hate Jews?
Yeah, right. Oh, you mean 65% of the American population at this point?
What's that you say? Gamers hate Jews? Well, let us show you.
Yeah, right.
I don't know.
How long are we going to shit on gamers before, like...
I don't know.
Did we
Oh, my
go
God.
through this? Oh, with Mortal Kombat already?
Yeah, we went through it with Mortal Kombat. I think we're entering a new third age of people shitting on people who play video games.
Okay.
But now
A third age. A third Reich, if you will, of
because the
shitting on gamers.
Because the first age was, like you said, Mortal Kombat. The second was the heyday of Grand Theft Auto and like the Columbine shootings and the Matrix.
Mm-hmm. The heyday of the Columbine shooting.
You know what I'm talking about. And then now,
Yeah.
again, gamers are because especially because Gamergate made everyone who plays games look bad.
Yeah. It made me hate a lot of people that play games.
Yep. It was awful. But it reminds me though, Coca-Cola is trying to get on the esports train.
Are they really?
They're trying to get on the but they're doing it in the fucking cringiest way possible by hiring webcomic illustrators and people to make these little comics about this sure is what gaming is like, right, fellow kids? And and of course there's a little can of Coke somewhere in the scene.
All right, now let me pose this question to you. If Coca-Cola offered you $10,000 to draw a little vignette like that, would you do it?
Of fucking course I would. I'm just saying that doesn't make it
right.
Yeah,
no, but
doesn't make it less cringy.
I'm with you.
Yeah, right. I mean, everyone wants to be the guy that got paid that $10,000, but no one wants to live in a world populated with hijacking our internet culture for Coca-Cola's benefit.
Everybody's got their price. Nothing is sacred.
Yep. 2017.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Desperation Creed. Total societal collapse.
Sadness.
Integrity in general just going right down
out
the shitter.
Right out the fucking
Fuck that.
window.
Pay me.
2017. Fuck that. Pay me. Oh, man.
Well, why are we fucked?
So I was at the grocery store earlier today.
Preparing to basically destroy us later.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. That's why we had the preemptive coffee.
Yeah.
I was at the grocery store earlier today. And I know... I don't think I'm alone in being, the only person who notices this. You go to the grocery store and you see some middle-aged, late 40s woman...
Okay.
Mid to late 40s woman walking around with her mother, like 70s, 80s, somewhere in that time frame.
Okay.
And they're walking together in the store, and the mother, like the mother is, talking about something or looking at something, and then the middle-aged woman is
the daughter.
The daughter presumably is like chastising them and yelling at them. You ever seen that? You ever been to the store and seen that?
Yeah,
and I've seen
real sad.
It's real. I don't mean to point it out like it's just daughters, because it's sons too, where they go and they're with their dad, or you know what I mean. But it's like
kids of elderly parents.
Yeah, exactly.
Adults.
Yeah, adults.
And now they're taking the adult role over their parents and abusing it.
Yes, exactly. Like not just adults, but like advanced adults, like middle aged, already have kids in high school or college. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just being fucking shitheads to their family. And don't get me wrong, because I've been a shithead to my family before. But I don't know, man. Like, if my mom is 75 and we're going grocery shopping, I'm not going to fucking chastise her because she likes to get cake. You know what I mean? This is exactly what I've heard. This is like picking out vegetables, and this woman's like, well, basically the older woman was like, I don't really like that. And she's like, well, it's better than the sugary shit you eat. Like, she's walking around being a bitch.
She's like a bajillion years old. Let her eat what the fuck she wants.
Right? That's all I'm thinking. I almost said something to her.
Yeah.
I almost fucking said something to her.
Like, don't abuse
I was like one nasty comment away from being like, you know what? You're a bad person. You should feel bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But God, it was just frustrating. I'm like, she's like 70. Let her eat whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah.
She's fine.
Every meal might be her last meal.
Right, she's gonna die soon anyway. We're all gonna die soon anyway. Let her eat whatever the fuck she wants.
She's like twice your age. She knows better than you do what she likes.
Yeah.
Why are you so fucking mean to her? Let her do what she wants. Your kids are grown.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
the irony of this is 10 years before that, she was telling her kids to respect their elders.
Right, exactly.
And 10 years later, when they're grown up or when she's in a new phase of her life, it's shit all over.
And like,
I don't have to do what you say anymore, Mom.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I'm guilty, right? We're all guilty of being shitty to our parents at some point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it fucking happens. Like,
but
even
there's a
into
cycle in your life
adulthood where you're guilty of being a shithead to your parents.
There's a point in life where it makes more sense. Because you're like basically a walking neutron bomb. You've got like all this hormonal anger in you, and you're carrying it everywhere.
Right.
So it makes sense that you're a dick to everybody, including the people that are trying to
shape you, right? No, it happens, all right? Okay, everybody gets into arguments with their parents, even when they're older, but you don't go to a fucking grocery store and argue with the woman who's, just trying to eat what she wants to eat.
Just let her eat the sugary shit.
Right, let her eat what she wants. Let her get a fucking cake, you animal.
Let her eat a bowl of dog food if she wants to. She's fucking 90.
Right.
Listen, asshole, I get up 5 times a night to take a leak.
Right,
Okay?
right.
Every single one of my bones hurts. I've had more organs removed than you have had children.
Right.
I deserve to eat whatever the fuck I want.
If I want a goddamn coffee cake before noon, I'm gonna have it. Just tell me what to do.
My tendons, every single one of my tendons below my waist feels like they're about to snap in two. I'm getting the fucking ho-hos.
Right.
Karen.
I shit half Karen. I stand up. I sneeze and piss comes out of 3 places in my body. Just give me a break.
I don't know. It frustrates me. And I almost fucking said something.
Yeah.
And it was partially because I was in a good mood, right? Like walking around, I'm humming to myself.
The Eagles are on the speakers.
On a dark desert highway, cool wind. A weird shopping song.
Yeah, it is.
You think it would be?
There's never a normal shopping song. It's always like I was in Sparkle the other day and they were playing like Blue Oyster Cult.
Let's just go on a mushroom trip and no, it just fucking it pissed me off. I was like one weird comment away from being like, leave her alone. Leave her alone. You don't know any better. You're just a shitty, jaded person whose kids are in college and don't call you anymore. Just fucking let her get what she wants. You're gonna feel really bad about this in 20 years.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. Just pissed me off. It was really fucking
pisses
annoying.
me off too. Don't be mean to the elderly.
Never.
If you absolutely have
Sometimes.
to do something, just ignore them. But don't be mean to them.
Just ignore them. Shut them in the room and
I don't neglect them. I mean, ignore them. Not lock them up as a prisoner. Just
No, I mean they have like it's like Scientology. It's like they have free will, but they don't really have free will. You know what I'm saying?
There's a great line from Collateral where Jamie Foxx's character is trying to get out of getting flowers for his mom because he's like, oh, she's not going to appreciate him anyway,
Yeah.
And Tom Cruise turns to him and he goes, she carried you in her womb for 9 months.
I know. I love that movie. That's a great movie.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I guess we should move on to the next segment of the show. We're going to take a little break.
Yeah, a little break.
Enjoy whatever we put in the center here.
I need coffee, man.
Yeah, dude,
I need more coffee.
This is kind of an odd episode because we're not already a little toasted drunk.
Yeah,
so
it's a little late.
It's a little later than normal, but
Full of pasta.
We'll be back. I think we're going to have a fun topic this week.
All right, let's do it.
Hey guys, you guys want to hear a joke?
Yeah.
Yes.
This isn't really a joke. It's more of a pickup line. This is the best pickup
It's the
line.
weirdest way to come back after the
right.
break.
Listen. This is a great pickup line. Are you from Tennessee? I eat ass.
Just you.
Welcome back, everybody.
That's the show I know and love. That's the 3 dudes I know and love.
Welcome back, everyone. I guess we should keep rolling right along here.
Mm-hmm.
We'll start off with Schmorpin and Dorpin.
Oh my god.
Dave,
Yes.
I'm going to start this week.
I knew you were going to do that.
I am Schmorpin, standard Captain Black's cherry pipe tobacco. I bought a new pipe because I couldn't find my secondary pipe and I don't know where it's at.
Where could my pipe be?
Where could my pipe be? And the first pipe is real gummed up, and I gotta fucking clean it. The one that got me last year for Christmas. I gotta fucking clean that thing.
We do have pipe cleaners in there somewhere.
Yeah, I know. This one's got the filter in it, so I'm gonna just ride that out for a little bit. And I am Dorpin, the Paisano wine that I bought.
Hey, Paisano!
I bought that a couple weeks ago. And I was drinking it on the show, I think, and then I used some of it in the sauce. So
Yeah.
I took a couple of pulls right out of the jug like a man.
Yep. Taking a little blasty blast.
Yes.
All right, so Dave, let's see what Ben's
I knew
smoking.
you were gonna do it.
Well, this week I'm not smoking anything. As you can see, I am smokeless.
You are smorpless.
Nary a smorp.
Nigh on a smorp.
That largely has to do with the fact that I came straight over here after work.
Yeah.
Came.
You know, I've got a couple of cigars floating around upstairs, but they're really, really old.
That's all right. I can do without for tonight.
Yeah.
Weenie. I came. I saw. I came.
However, I am drinking a Vienna lager, courtesy of the Devil's Backbone Brewing Company.
Yeah. Interesting.
It's-
I've never seen that, but it's another Vienna style, huh?
Yeah, well, this one's not like half sugar.
Yeah.
Like it's actually a lager.
Okay.
It tastes like a lager. It's very smooth, a little hoppy for a lager.
Nice.
But very, very, very tasty.
You know, I knew that the Vienna style that we had on the Smorpin' and Dorpin' mega episode could not be representative of all Vienna styles.
No,
It just
this
I knew it had to be different. Plus, it was a Vienna style from, like, Transylvania or some shit, right?
Yeah, it was brewed like in some ass end of
Yeah. The Vienna style via,
Slovakia. It was like
Georgia.
Slovenia, wasn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was
Kind of
very,
soon,
very
but
weird.
Yeah. Devil's Backbone Brewing Company. Where are they based out of? Lexington, Virginia.
Huh.
So yeah, pretty good. They started stocking this at Sparkle, and I'm like, this looks interesting. I've never tried it.
yeah, why not?
That's a good one.
It's pretty tasty.
I am, at risk of being very boring, I am again smoking Marlboro Edge cigarettes.
And drinking black coffee?
black
Let me
coffee.
guess. Black coffee and Marlboro Edge cigarettes.
That said, at some point in the middle of this episode, I'm planning on picking up a glass of Drogtober.
Yeah, buddy.
There's still
There
some
you
of
go.
the keg there. I'm measuring it out. I'm trying to make it last. Some nights better than others with that.
Yeah.
So might be picking up a glass of that Drogtoberfest.
Yeah.
later.
Halloween seems like the
Yeah,
perfect
perfect
time
time.
to kill that keg.
Yes,
Yeah, that's true.
That particular keg.
Yeah, it's not Drugvemberfest.
It's not. No, Drogvember doesn't even sound right.
Drugvember is
It's like
not a real thing at all.
Hamvember. No, that doesn't work either. Slamvember? No, it's too similar.
Slamuary.
Slamuary. Slamuary.
Drogist.
Drogus.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's that seems to be the staple here, buddy.
Yes, it is.
Again, I've pointed this out on the show before.
I know it pisses you off.
It doesn't piss me off. It doesn't piss me off. Never mind. It doesn't piss me off.
Yeah.
It's just funny to me that you were the one that
I know.
did the start of the Schmorpin and Dorpin thing.
Thought it would be a good
And
idea, but
on-
never partook in it.
At 70% of the episodes we've done so far, you've had the same thing.
I know.
I mean, realistically though, like, I don't know, buying a cigar every week and like, going out of your way to get a different beer every week. And like,
right. Well, I mean, we end up drinking a lot of the same stuff.
sure.
Yeah, we do. How many times has it been Rolling Rock
Sure. Yeah, right, exactly. It's okay.
from the glass line tank?
No, I was just- We tendered to you. This is in tribute of your great taste. 33.
33. I knew if I started it, you would be unable to not finish it.
Yeah, I have to. No, it's interesting that Ben, the only non-smoker among us, has been blossomed or ruined into enjoying cigars, which makes me happy because I love cigars. And
Yeah.
I like smoking them and talking about them. So
Maybe next week I'll actually get a cigar.
yeah, why not? We'll get another one. We had fun with this Morpin and Dorpin episode, so
Yeah.
it was good. Well, I guess we should keep moving right along here. I notice.
You noticed.
I'm glad you noticed. Thank you for noticing.
No problem.
Thank you for noticing this notice. It did not escape my notice that you noticed this notice.
Aw. And I noticed.
I noticed you noticing that notice, and that all right, never mind. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But I've noticed that as we are not a little toasted before we start the episode,
Interesting.
Things are moving right along here.
Yeah, they're moving kind of quickly.
Which is okay, I think.
Yeah.
And I think we tend to like go pretty long on our episodes.
We do. Maybe too long.
Maybe too long in some spots, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I think the more alcohol we feed into our systems, the more we tend to like ramble on.
Yeah.
Ramble on.
That said, we're also starting this thing at like
It's
8
later,
at night.
so we're kind of like ready to move along.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is going to be that said a good topic to kind of get into the thick of.
Okay.
It's one that I thought maybe we should do like a spooktacular Halloween episode where we tell ghost stories, and then I remembered that I don't know any good ghost stories.
I don't believe in ghosts. And some people are astounded by that, by the way.
That you don't believe in ghosts.
Some people find that astounding. I've had people argue with me for a long time.
believe in ghosts either.
I've had people like, no, but this happened. And I'm always like, I believe you believe that happened.
Right. Yeah. It's I don't know, man. It's not my thing. But I thought about that, and I thought, like, well, I could look up some ghost stories, some spooky stories.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't want to do that. That sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
This is not, like, all right, I think we've brought it up before, but Dave and Christy was one of our guests on the show, do a podcast called the Goose Chase Podcast, which is a podcast I would, my early preemptive recommendation.
Man, getting so many free plugs
Yeah,
here.
dude. Go listen
Yeah.
to Goose Chase podcast. It's great. They go real in depth on a topic each week, and they kind of explain it to one another and to the audience, which is really cool. And they do a lot of work and research trying to do that.
We have a spoopy one coming up tomorrow. Too,
Ooh,
for
nice.
Ooh.
Yes.
Halloween spoop.
Nice.
Just when you thought you couldn't be spooked anymore.
My pants have been spooped plumb off on many occasions.
Spooping your pants right off your butt.
Yeah.
They're going to land on the other side of the floor. They're going to fold themselves.
Well, I know, like, the last episode you did was the one that I requested, that I sent the email in for, was the Indian music theory, which I was real interested in. And I know Christy did a shitload of work to do that.
Yes, she did.
And I was thinking about that when I was trying to pick my topic today, and thinking about maybe doing a ghost stories topic.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to do any research.
Right.
So
This isn't that kind of show.
This is not that kind
We're
of
not
show.
college anymore.
So, speaking of college, I guess it's good. It's a good time to talk about the topic.
Yeah.
Today, I decided that we're kind of in the midst of a lot of sports. We're kind of in the perfect.
Sure.
We're kind of in the perfect time frame for sports. It's
we are.
still technically October for the next few
All
hours.
4 major ones in America are going on.
Correct,
It's
yeah.
the World Series.
The World Series is happening right now.
Hockey and basketball have
Hockey's
started.
back.
Football's
basketball-
already well underway.
Yeah, we're about halfway through the season in football for both. So, what I wanted to talk about today was a sports megasode.
Ooh.
A recap for the year.
Yeah.
What's happening in the wild world of sports.
Awesome.
Yeah, I
Just
figured this was
awesome.
going to be a fun episode.
This is good. Let's talk sports.
So I feel like Dave is kind of like the most recent fan of sports at the table.
Yeah, I spent most of all of my high school time and most of college and a lot of time after that going
Wagging the finger.
I'm
Wagging
too
the
good for
finger.
this shit.
Yeah, wagging the finger.
Like I'm not too good for
I always
anything
thought that was
anymore.
really strange that you know.
It's really
Because
weird.
I remember like being younger and trying to explain it to you.
Yeah.
Because you're like, why do people like it? And I'm like, dude, I mean, I don't know. Watch it. Like, it's just, you'll get the idea.
Yeah.
And I know, Ben, you had told me that you didn't really get into it until like later on too, right?
Right. Yeah, well into college, I was dating a hockey fan, and,
Yeah.
and I actually sat down and watched a full
Oh,
game.
hell
and I was-
yeah.
and I was like, holy shit. A little before that, I had actually watched 2009, the Stanley Cup Finals, where the Pens won their third cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Classic.
You know, it
Yeah.
really helps to associate sports with someone that's willing to touch your penis, I think.
Sure.
Yeah.
It really kind of makes it ingrained into your head that you're going to like it.
Yeah. The downside now, of course, is that anytime anyone says Yevgeny Malkin's name, I pop a boner.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. I don't have a good reason for that happening.
But no, man, I thought like we got not an experience, but like the
Way low level experience.
yeah,
of
you know,
sports.
and then we got somebody who, like mid-level experience, and then
Yeah.
there's me who's fat and I've been into fat like a beer swilling,
Yeah,
Cheeto grabbing. You know what I mean?
I'm full of pork rinds on a Sunday sports fan.
I'm a big sports fan. I'm not the sports fan who's like the standard middle-aged guy whose wife's always mad at him for not taking the garbage out and has Sports Center on the TV all the time.
That guy.
I'm not that guy, but I'm a big college football fan. I'm a big hockey fan. I'm getting into baseball a little more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I dabble.
Yeah, right.
As it were. And I try and keep up specifically with college football. So I guess I kind of wanted to cover a little bit of everything that's happening right now in the world of sports and kind of recap everybody what's going on for the year.
Sure.
Yeah. I guess the best place to start would be with I think they're playing Game 6 tonight of the World Series.
Game 6. Houston is leading that series 3-2 against the Dodgers.
The Dodgers, Los Angeles Dodgers.
It could end tonight.
It could end tonight. And here's the thing: this is
that's in progress right now. In fact,
this is a series that I don't think anybody really, not a lot of people predicted was going to happen.
Yeah,
where Cleveland was in the playoffs. Cleveland went on that huge run going through September and late August,
and
where they won 20-something games in a row, and then they choked in the first round to Houston or to New York to the Yankees, and then the Yankees, of course, lost to Houston.
This game starts in 7 minutes.
Oh, cool! Man. Yeah, so it's Game 6. The Astros are in position. They're up 3-2, 3 games to 2 in a best of 7.
Yeah,
and this is if nobody predicted that Houston and Los Angeles were going to play together. Nobody predicted that Houston would be up on Los Angeles.
Right.
Los Angeles had the best record in baseball.
Yeah.
The team that was right behind them was Cleveland, and a lot of people early on were picking Cleveland and Los Angeles to play the series together.
Sure.
And I think had we gotten past the Yankees, we probably would have.
Yeah.
But as it stands now, Houston's up 3 games to 2. It has been, I don't know if you guys have watched any of the games.
Nope.
It's been one of the wildest World Series ever. There's been a lot of comebacks.
Yeah.
A couple games have gone into extra innings.
No kidding.
There's been some wild fucking shit happening in the series.
All of baseball that I watched this entire year was literally the bottom of the 9th, Cleveland's last game. Mm-hmm. I tuned in because everyone that I know was losing their shit,
watching them fucking blow it,
and just back and forth trading very doomed messages, and I went, okay, I'm gonna watch this last series of outs.
Man. Yeah. They should have saved that impressive streak that they went on, unstoppable. They should have saved it, man.
Yeah,
because this was if last year wasn't Cleveland's year, this was the year.
This was it.
This was the year, and they blew it, man. They really blew it.
I really feel for Cleveland fans in the middle of this.
And then on that note, the Yankees buzzsaw that went through us fucking blew it against Houston. They were in prime position and they played well and then could not get it done against Houston. And then
at this point, I really want it for Houston, considering that I'm not certain, but half of them are still underwater right now.
They're in position.
Sure.
They're in position to win their first series title.
Yeah.
I mean, and they're fucking killing it.
An incredible time for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's been at least 2 of these games have been comeback victories against Los Angeles, who has just been dusting everybody off of their shoulder through the whole season. It's been it's incredible, man. I'm actually excited for Game 6. I'm gonna try and watch the whole thing because it's what's gonna happen next.
Right.
We've already seen a couple games go into extra innings. Mm-hmm. The one, Houston came back from a 5-run deficit, tied it up in the 9th. Took it to extra innings. The Dodgers scored 2 more runs on the top of the 10th. Houston scored another 2 in the bottom of the 10th.
No way.
Another inning. It's been crazy, man.
It sounds pretty nuts.
Yeah, as good as again, Indians fan. So as good as last year's series was, where we lost to the Cubs, this is even better.
Yeah.
That was a good series, all things considered. Even if you're even if you wanted Cleveland to win it, it was still a fun one to watch.
That series had a narrative to it that was irresistible.
Oh, sure. Yeah, 2 underdogs trying to...
Yeah, and a curse to be broken. Who could not completely fall for that story and just watch?
Yeah.
I don't know if that same thing exists here this year, but it sounds like the game itself has just been incredible to watch.
Well, you have kind of the... I don't want to say the most boring team in baseball, but certainly the team that's been just mowing through people.
Yeah.
And they're getting a fucking fight from this team that's never won it before. And it's a trip to watch. Again, I'm not a huge baseball fan, especially on TV. I feel if you're going to go see baseball or if you're gonna watch baseball, it's worth it to spend the money and go see it live, even if it's
For real, yeah.
1 or 2 games, because it is a blast to go see live.
It's also, baseball also has the advantage, seeing it live, of being able to actually see the whole field.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Seeing what the fielders are doing when each batter comes up is a real big part of the strategy and the anticipation of what's going to come next.
That's the thing that I always failed to appreciate about baseball. And I guess on some level I still do, except that I know I'm wrong. Which is the amount of strategy that's actually happening on the field.
Which pitchers to put in when.
Yeah.
When their arms start to get tired, when it's time to pull them.
Yeah.
Who's next in the lineup?
When to pinch run, when to send a pinch hitter in,
Yeah. Well, this is stuff I failed to totally, appreciate.
It's worth it. It's cool. And I'll tell you what, we went to last year. We went. I wanted to go this year, but we couldn't get the time coordinated off to do it. And I will go next year if the Indians make the playoffs. October baseball live is incredible. Trisha and I kind of at the last minute last year got the last available nosebleed seats you could at Jacobs Field.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And went after work one day and watched Game 1 against the Sox.
Yeah.
In the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it was a blast, man. Even there's no the cool thing. It's like a hockey arena. There's no bad seats in any baseball stadium in America. There's no bad seats.
Yeah, right.
We were up in the nosebleeds looking down the third late base line, and you can see the whole field.
Yeah.
And then, you hear people talk about it, and it's true when you watch baseball on TV. When somebody cracks a home run, it sounds different coming off the bat. You can hear the sound echo off of the bat.
It hits a sweet spot. It's like
sweet
dead
spot.
center of the bat.
There was one, the one where the Astros pulled it out a couple days ago. This guy hit a home run, and as soon as he hit it, I went, "That's gone." You on TV, you watch it, and you hear that crack.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as soon as you heard that sound, I'm like, "Oh, that's out of there." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because and then he just drops the bat like a badass. And, he's psyching up the crowd. But it's one of those things where you can hear it. And I actually have a video of it on my Facebook somewhere.
Yeah.
We were recording because the Indians were in scoring position, and I caught Lonnie Chisenhall's right center field home run in the 5th inning. And you can hear it. I mean, we're in the nosebleed, so we're in the middle of nowhere. And you can hear that crack when it echoes off of the bat. That sound in person is even cooler than hearing it on TV. Just that crack. And that was the first time. I've seen a lot of sporting events, and I've seen a lot of them live. I'd never understood the expression, the roar of the crowd before.
Yeah.
Until walking, we got there.
It's just everywhere.
It's everywhere. We were walking in when they were introducing the lineup. We were coming through the gates and heading up towards our seats. Yeah. And 8 blocks away, you can hear while they're announcing the lineup. Yeah. You can hear that reverberating throughout the whole city.
Noise.
Well, it's different for playoffs, I'd imagine, because it's not like just a regular season summer game where you can go and just spend an afternoon watching the game.
Sure,
it's all fans. It's all
exactly
dyed in the wool fans of the team that are there to see them.
Exactly, and it's a trip, man. I mean, to go see, I would recommend that to anybody, any sporting event live, but particularly late season or playoffs. Mm-hmm. It's fucking worth it, man. It's a trip because the place was rocking. I mean, the stands were literally rocking. It was so cool. But I think Houston's in a huge position this year to take advantage. Tonight, we're going to see if they can do it.
Can I tell my one baseball story?
Yeah.
I have one baseball story. I went to see one game. It was an Indians game. Work was paying for it, so I was all excited. I was getting the day off to go watch a game, and I can't remember exactly when it started. Let's just say 1:00, right?
Got to get there at 11.
Basically, I rolled into town right around 1.
No, bad idea.
Go into a parking lot looking for parking.
No.
Real slow because there's a line of people who all go to the top and then all come back down again. I lose an hour.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm going around looking there's no street parking that I can find. I'm looking for other lots. I can't find one. I eventually come across this thing that looks like it might be a lot. I mean, I can't find a place to pay. I'm at this point, I'm hours behind. I'm looking for the booth attendant. There's no booth attendant. I call the number on the booth. They say that I have to go somewhere else to pay for the parking, to then come back to park there. I ended up just parking.
Yeah.
And walking away.
Yeah, screw them.
Yeah, I was like, nope, fuck this, not worth it. I walk in. It's basically the bottom of the 7th.
Yeah.
By the time I get inside.
Yeah, you like the rule one, especially in Cleveland, because it's real tight down there.
It's insane.
You gotta get there early.
I couldn't believe how bad it was.
Yeah, even like Cavs games in the middle of the season, like even when they were shitty. Cavs games in the middle of the season, you got to be there early. Bro, I don't know if you've ever been to Cleveland Stadium, but even with the 4,000 people that show up there still, like it's still hard to get in and find parking. You got to get there early.
That city's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's tough, and it's a pain in the ass to get out when you're done. But but no, man, it's cool to go see live, and we should go see a baseball game. That's Trisha and I made a list this morning over breakfast.
Yeah.
Because we're always talking about shit that we want to do that we never go out and do.
Yeah.
So we just started making a list of the shit we said we wanted to do this year and never did. And some of it was like go to a museum. Some of it was go to a baseball game. We didn't get to do that this year. Mm-hmm. And then some of it was like go for a walk in the park. Shit like we just don't have time to. So we're going to check those off the list starting on January 1st. But yeah, one of them is definitely go back and see playoff baseball. I would hope that the Indians wouldn't, like plateau here and then fall back down. I would think that next year they'll be in. So I would love to go see another October game in Jacobs Field because it was fucking fun.
What do you pay for a ticket around that time out there? What do you pay for a ticket?
Actually, for playoff baseball, I was surprised at how not crazy it was.
What'd you pay?
It was about after the fees and everything.
Yeah,
paid about $160 a ticket. And it was nosebleed seats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was up there, but it wasn't like I expected. I saw the ticket prices and I'm thinking like, okay, I'm expecting to pay $500 out the door for both of us.
Yeah, right.
But like it was like parking included, you know what I mean, with the seats, and like we had our own special lot. And it was, I was like, that's not awful. It was like, I'll put it on the credit card and just do it, what I mean?
Right.
And it was worth it. It was definitely worth it.
Yeah, you talk about that a lot. Like, that was clearly like a really
fun,
worthwhile experience.
It was really fun. If we can, secure seats next year, maybe that'd be something that'd be fun to go out and do. Go see them play live.
If I could change focus a little bit, can we talk about the Youngstown Phantoms for a second?
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. So I have plans now. We have tickets. Me and Christy and her mom and stepdad are all going to go to watch the Phantoms on the 18th.
Sure.
November 18th, they're playing the Chicago something or other. And I am so excited.
The Phantoms are great.
I think it's the Chicago Steel.
Yeah, maybe it's Steel.
That's right.
Yeah, so we're going to see them. And like I said, I'm so excited about it. But I thought maybe you guys would remember or could talk a little bit about... We had a couple of MVPs or whatever on the team the last time we were there.
Kyle
signed
with the Jets. I can't remember his name. Kyle something. He the way that the draft NHL draft is a little different than like NFL draft in that a team will reserve a player.
Yeah.
But if they want to go to college and play hockey there, they can before they move into the pros. So they drafted a couple of years ago Kyle Connor.
That's it.
Kyle Connor.
Right.
It was the league's leading scorer and league's leading point man.
Mm-hmm. The league's leading scorer,
Wayne Gretzky. Yeah.
Only men I'd have sex with,
Wayne Gretzky. Yeah. No, but he was. The Jets drafted him, and he's playing hockey at the University of Michigan now, to my knowledge.
Oh, okay.
Unless he's starting this year, I'll have to check the Jets roster and see.
Okay. But I mean, I guess the reason I asked is we were not slouches. We had some pretty impressive.
No, they were. They've been in the playoffs the past several years. They've been tough.
It's pretty impressive, honestly. I mean, for Youngstown to have something, it's cool that we've got a pretty bitchin' hockey team.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I wonder what they're looking like this year. Or
Alec would be the one to ask because he's had season tickets the past 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I would really like to go to some games this year. It sucks because like Northeast Ohio in general really is football country.
Sure.
Yeah.
And
it's not really a hockey state.
No, it's not.
No, it's hard to find like fans of the sport of hockey.
They're there.
Around here, you have Pens fans.
Lots of Pens fans.
But that's because people from Pittsburgh are crazy about all Pittsburgh sports.
Sure.
It doesn't matter what sport it is. They'll root for a team.
There's a lot of bleed over.
Exactly.
If Pittsburgh's got a team in it. And then I'm sure Blue Jackets fandom is alive and well down in Columbus.
If they brought the Barons back, the Cleveland Barons.
The Barons?
It was a now defunct NHL team that played in like 76, 77 for 2 years. And
No
then
shit.
The franchise went defunct.
I did not know that we
Yeah.
ever had that.
The Barons, yeah.
The Barons.
Yep. But yeah, if they brought that back,
That'd be cool.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think we should maybe make an attempt to see some more hockey.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Nothing beats live hockey.
No.
Yeah, and you know what?
Nothing beats live hockey.
You know what? We talked about this too. Seeing the Pens and Bruins in
game,
Pittsburgh again
Yeah.
might be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we really want to do that. We really want to do that. We were checking on tickets for this year, and the first two they play 3 times.
Okay.
The first 2 games. Well, there's twice in Pittsburgh. One is in the winter, and then the other is like in April.
Okay.
way out. The tickets for the one in the wintertime are pretty much gone. Like they were like we checked last month, and they were like almost gone.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was hard to find seats. But we're gonna have to go like early in the before when they like announce the schedule. We're gonna have to go and look at those and start saving. But
Yeah.
They last season I took Aubrey and her friend and her friend's husband to go see the Phantoms. They had like this 4-ticket deal, and you got like a free hat and a meal voucher for McDonald's.
Yeah, I remember when we got one of those before too.
yeah, Alec gets free seats all the time, so he gets all that shit.
So we went, and it was Aubrey's first hockey game.
Yeah.
And I tried to think of like, as many of the things to tell her as I could, like, make sure you're sitting down when plays in action and watch where the puck is.
Yeah.
If we get up close to the glass, don't be afraid to bang on it.
Yeah. But don't put your drink along that thing.
Don't put your drink on the boards. Yeah.
We saw someone do that when we went, the 3 of us, right?
Yep.
Someone had their cute little blue drink sitting on the boards and just watch it go boom.
Yeah.
Well, I remember we told you the same thing because it was we went to a Phantoms game and it was your first game and we're going, all right, like pay attention because the puck goes over. He's like, like, does that happen?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it definitely happens. And I remember like you were turned this way, you're like turned the opposite way, looking at us, and we're watching the play while you're talking to us.
Yeah.
And then it happens, and we all do this at once. Yeah. And you went, huh? What? Ah! And the puck went 2 feet over Dave's head.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't even see it, so I didn't know how close it was to me.
It hit 2 feet over your head.
Jesus!
It echoed on the seats like 3 rows behind us.
I did not realize that happened.
Yeah, well, you remember the puck hit.
I remember the puck, but I do not remember it being close to my head.
It went over your head by like 2, maybe 3 feet. It went over you.
The thing is, I wasn't looking, so I wouldn't know.
Right. But you're like looking back, and we all went, ah! Like, we all did this, and you're like, oh, what? You're like looking for it, But it like went flying back over.
But that's but the thing I failed to mention to her, and the thing that was like continually taking her by surprise until like the end of the second period, was how fucking loud the puck gets.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't like if you've only seen hockey on TV, you tend not to think about it. But if you're like, because we were like 2 or 3 rows back from the glass, and anytime someone shot the puck into the corner, just bam, just right off the corner, and Aubrey would just jump and go like, oh my
It's
God.
a hard piece of ionized rubber that is also cold.
It's a hard fucking object.
There's another thing I'm really excited about on the 18th is we got seats right on the glass. We got 4 seats right on the glass, and they are, I'm trying to remember, they are just outside the blue, or just sort of inside the blue line closer to the goal.
Nice.
So basically we're like right on the face-off dot, or like pretty close.
Yeah.
I am really excited about that.
That's awesome.
For anybody who's listening and doesn't know, the Youngstown Phantoms are a USHL team.
Yeah.
Which is junior hockey. So basically kids ages 17 to 21. You're eligible from 17 to 21 to play.
Yeah.
It is just as fast
Yeah.
and brutal
Yeah.
and rough as Major League Hockey.
Yeah.
And they fight.
Yeah,
They throw fists
more often than they do in the
They do.
pros.
I was saying.
Well, they all got something to prove out there.
The juniors they've got less discipline, so it plays a little sloppier. Things are a little more violent. There's more penalties.
It looks more like 70s hockey. But dude, they're fun. It's fast. You get that good whiff of BO. The play comes past you, and then 2 seconds later, you get the trail of BO that follows it, like right down on the glass.
What you also don't see that often on TV that's different when you go see live hockey is every single person on that ice is cussing at one another constantly.
Yeah.
Everybody does it. The refs cuss at the players cuss at the refs, the coaches cuss at the players and the refs.
Fuck you! You're going in the fucking box.
Like everybody watches NFL mic'd up. Like picture that times 4. Like it's real bad. I remember like explaining that to my mom. It was watching a couple years ago. This shows you how long ago. It was when the Bruins were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And you could hear like them, kind of muffled, and she's like, "What are they doing?" And I'm like, "Oh, they're talking shit." And I'm like, "That's happening all game long. That's all they do is talk shit to each other."
Yeah.
It's the NHL mic'd ups are fucking hilarious.
They're incredible.
Hilarious.
I really don't want to have to fucking kill Giroux tonight.
My favorite is the sort of very polite, genial, like, "Yeah, good job, buddy." After you guys are done fighting,
Good job, buddy.
Yeah, good job.
Hey, eyebrows. He's Sean Thornton.
Yeah.
My favorite. Yeah.
Hockey. That covers local hockey.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So I guess this is a good way to segue into the NHL. We're kind of at the onset of the season.
Yes, we are.
I think you two are Pens fans. I am the weird, odd man out, especially in this area. I'm a Bruins fan, so and that's just because that was the team that I picked in NHL hits for the Xbox.
I was wondering why, because actually, come to think of it, so Christy's stepdad is a huge Bruins fan.
Yeah.
And he was from the area. When he was a kid, he played, and not only that, he played hockey. And not only did he play hockey, apparently he was kind of hot shit.
No shit.
Yeah, like if they hadn't left, he might have actually, he might have actually really kind of been something. I mean, that's to hear him tell it. You know, everyone's got their story.
Oh, sure.
But I was telling him you're a Bruins fan, and he kind of like lit up.
Static,
Like, yeah,
Bruins fan. Huge Bruins fan. Well, and that was like the first time I knew anything about hockey.
Yeah.
Was I was playing my brother's N64 and the cartridge I still have that we played on the show. Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey '98.
Yes.
I was 7 years old. I picked the Chicago Blackhawks, which at the time I think were the worst team in the league, and I kicked my brother's ass.
Yeah.
And I was hooked from then. And then I was a Blackhawks fan, and I, maybe which is why I could tolerate the Browns sometimes. I got used to watching them lose.
Yeah.
And then when NHL Hits came out, Alec and I used to pick the Bruins.
Yeah.
And that's kind of just like, who I stayed with was Boston.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny is when I was a kid, I got I went to get a winter jacket with my mom. I was pretty young. We went to the Village discount outlet, right, to pick up like a used winter jacket. I had a Chicago Blackhawks winter jacket.
Did you?
I didn't actually realize hockey existed, but I had a Blackhawks jacket.
That's sweet.
Yeah, and I wore it a lot. I wore it out.
I love the Hawks, man.
Yeah.
It's Chicago's any original 6 team.
Yeah.
It's kind of like acceptable to be a fan of no matter where you're at in the country. It's okay to be a Hawks fan in Los Angeles.
They're legit.
They're everywhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I picked the Bruins, and that's who I stayed with, kind of forever. They had Joe Thornton on the team at the time, Jumbo Joe.
Yeah.
Playing with the Sharks, which I think is probably part of the reason that Alec's a big Sharks fan now, too.
Yeah.
Because we were both huge Joe Thornton fans. He was my favorite player when I was a kid.
Yeah. Was he as beardy back then?
Yes, but he was younger and less so.
Oh, okay.
And he had hair.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it's Jumbo Joe, man. The second stupidest trade that Boston ever made, behind Johnny Boychuk.
Oh, yeah.
And then the third stupidest trade is Phil Kessel.
Anytime you're feeling down.
I keep forgetting he was a Bruin to start with.
Yeah, he got drafted by the Bees. He played 1 year.
Anytime you're feeling down, just whisper to yourself, Phil Kessel has 2 Stanley Cups.
Yep.
But no, as a big Bruins fan, man, I guess we should talk about the league. What's going on right now?
Yeah, well, you're this new expansion team, the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
Fucking scary.
Yes,
fucking scary.
They currently are 8-1.
Yeah, they're at the top of the NHL power rankings. By the way,
That's very weird.
They're in the standings. They're behind only.
LA, the Kings, yeah.
Yeah.
But they were at the top on the first week. I mean, they were like on the onset, they were scary.
I gotta start watching them.
They're just fucking intense, man. It's well, and they got like the thing that scares me is the depth at the goalie position. I'll tell you what, like they had Fleury, which we all know, seasoned veteran. They also picked up Malcolm Subban from free agency, who used to play at Providence, which is the farm team for Boston.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he would get called up throughout the year whenever like Tuukka Rask would get hurt, or they'd run him in as the backup.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, man, at Boston, he got fucking shelled. I mean, like he got shelled at Boston. He regularly giving up 5 goals a night. You know what I mean? And it was frustrating to watch him. And now that we're watching him play in Vegas and perform. Malcolm Subban, incidentally, is PK Subban's brother.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah, PK Subban, the biggest pimp in the NHL, second biggest pimp in the NHL.
A tale of 2 Subans.
Yeah.
Who's the biggest pimp in the NHL?
Jaromir Jagr.
Oh, of course.
Jaromir Jagr, at his age and all of that, is the old bull of the top of the hill. Young bull and old bull joke. The one who says, I'm going to walk down there.
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck all of them.
Yep. Jagr, man, he's the man. But no, Malcolm got shelled in Boston. And watching him play in Vegas, I don't think it was his goaltending that was bad. I think it was just Boston's defense that was bad. Yeah.
I could have told you that.
Right, no, it's the truth, man. Boston has never been a defensive team. Their defense is there, the cup year.
You were a defensive team that year.
Yeah, well, I mean, but they even then, they weren't playing prevent defense. They were enforcers. It was an enforcer defense. It was Milan Lucic,
but it won them the cup.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah, they were the Big Bad Bruins. So
I'm gonna get a glass of water.
Yeah, go for it. But no, they were the Big Bad Bruins again. Like they were, Zdeno Chara in his prime. Big, scary. Milan Lucic regularly putting people through the glass and breaking it.
Yeah.
I mean, they were fucking scary, man. But I think that was the problem, is that defense just kind of petered off over the years. And Malcolm got shelled when he was in Boston. And then, the fans didn't like him. And now he's in Vegas behind a defense that can, help him out a little bit. And he's putting up numbers, man. I mean, he's putting up real numbers. Fleury's out with a concussion under protocol.
Right.
And the backups are just holding down the fort for him. I mean, they are really looking scary. That's what won Pittsburgh the cup the last couple of years is depth at the goalie position.
Exactly.
You had Fleury and Matt Murray.
You put in net more right now in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas, right now it's Malcolm Subban and the other guy whose name I can't remember. But Fleury's out on concussion protocol.
Oh, okay. That's what you're just saying.
For the next couple weeks, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, they're both. I can't remember the other guy's name right now, but they're putting up real numbers, man.
Yeah.
They're scary.
Is it Varlamov?
It might be Varlamov, yeah.
Vermalurv.
But no, they're fucking terrifying, man. At the start of this year, I always make a way too early pick every year.
Yeah.
For the Heisman Trophy, for the national championship, for the Super Bowl, for the NHL, whatever, you know what I mean? My way too early pick this year was the Edmonton Oilers, which I'm still maintaining.
Yeah.
But if the Knights can keep this up through December, if they can get to December and still play this way, the league's in trouble because they look tough, man.
Yeah. It seems so crazy to come out the gate like this.
A year one franchise. Well, remember, Anaheim, it wasn't much longer after the Mighty Ducks came out that they put up a cup. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, it's a little different than an NFL expansion where you got to build a franchise for a couple years.
Yeah. You can, there's certain rules about being able to draft current players and things like that, which is why they have Fleury, Cody Eakin.
Yeah.
Players like these that already have like established names in the league.
Sure. Which helps. Is a tremendous help. Tremendous help.
Yeah, and so of course then you put players with experience, along with a couple draft picks.
Sure.
Plus coaches with experience together, and you don't have like a core yet. These guys, it's their first time working with one another, but you've got your whole team is just people with experience.
Right.
They're not just like fresh out of college,
Right.
They're not just all rookies.
And I don't know how exactly the NFL expansion worked, but I think Cleveland, for the most part, when they came back, had new players, like young players.
Yeah.
Rookies, basically. And same with the Houston Texans when the NFL expanded to put the Texans in.
Yeah.
New players. It's a young squad, young franchise. These guys don't have that. They have some new players. They have some new draft picks.
Right.
They have some free agents, and they got some veterans. And they're putting up numbers, man. I mean, they are fucking scary right now.
Yeah.
So I still think...
Great for hockey.
Great for hockey. Really great for hockey. And all that does is add fuel to the fire of... Now there's 31 teams in the NHL, and we're still one team down for the Western Conference. Yeah. That kind of adds fuel to the fire of... should we put another Western Conference team in? And I think I told you, Ben.
Adds a little grist to the old rumor mill.
Yeah. The mayor of Seattle got approved a $650 million hockey arena for the city. They have plans drawn up.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
If you can draw, and I've seen the Golden Knight crowd. If you can draw a market for hockey in Las Vegas,
absolutely,
you can definitely do it in Seattle.
Absolutely,
I can't imagine the league saying no to a proposal from Seattle.
God, I can imagine so easily, like Jeff Bezos, basically buying a team.
I would love that, man. That's what we need. And I know we'll get into this a little later, but I know the NFL is talking about expanding overseas to Europe.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah, I know Londoners are very big on gridiron football now. Like we have a game there every year, and
we just had it.
The Browns and the Vikings played over there.
Yeah.
And if you look at that crowd, it's all different jerseys from all around the league. There was just guys who wanted to come see a real football game.
Real football.
Yeah.
Real football. Hope you're paying attention, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, if you could, please bite me.
No, but I think we're at this kind of point of stagnancy now in most major sports where we kind of had the same teams for a while, and NHL definitely needs to get to 32. They need to get a Western Conference team in there. The NFL, I think, is going to start expanding. I'd like to see the NFL go to 36 teams. I think that would be a lot more interesting than the 32 they have.
Yeah.
We'll see. But
one thing I'm kind of happy about the current NHL season is I've watched a few games. And I haven't seen that face-off violation penalty come up.
No, thank God.
Thank fucking goodness, because that's a dumb penalty.
I feel like I watched it happen once. Did we see it once?
That was a preseason game.
Oh, right.
They called that penalty a few times.
Yeah.
Which is basically, in a situation where you would normally be kicked out of the face-off.
Yeah.
Like your skates can't cross the hash marks.
Right, exactly.
Anymore. So you get warned once, and then if you do it again, it's a 2-minute penalty. It's a dumb fucking thing to put in.
And while we're at it, can we get rid of the fucking hybrid icing rule too?
Yeah, we need it out of here already.
Hockey is an old-timer sport, man.
Yeah.
It's a sport that's populated and commentated on by old-timers, the people who came before, and nobody's happy about hybrid icing.
Yeah.
Like, we know the way hockey's supposed to be played. It's okay to introduce some changes to keep the game fresh as it evolves. It's not okay to be an annoying pain in the ass. Let them hunt the puck down for icing. Nobody gets hurt chasing the puck for icing.
No.
Right.
Just let them do it.
I don't know. I would imagine people do, but like you can probably count them on one hand.
Right, very rarely.
It's not like it happens all the time.
This is a sport where when things get too rough, they just let the players have at each other.
Yeah, right.
So I don't think letting them chase down the puck is going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
But no, my way too early pick is still the Edmonton Oilers. I think this is the Oilers' comeback year.
Yeah.
Making up for the shitty Gretzky trade all those years ago. I think this is going to be the redemption year. Connor McDavid is still hot.
Wasn't it Edmonton who spanked the shit out of us the other day, 7-1 or something like that?
That was Winnipeg.
Winnipeg, the Jets. Yeah.
Jesus. What? Can we talk about that real quick? What is with the fucking Pens yo-yo?
Yeah,
right now?
I don't know, man.
They're not consistent right now. I get the feeling.
Me too.
Pardon. I get. I get the feeling that a lot of teams are because the Pens are the ones to aim for this year.
Yeah.
And I think what's wrong is they're having trouble adapting to the teams that are starting to figure out how the Pens operate. And
Chicago smacked the shit out of us real early.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chicago's sort of on the upswing. Like they're trying to cut like that franchise team of the early 2000s. We're starting to see.
Yeah. Well, that game was something like 6-0 or something like that. And it was like clearly like go out to the schoolyard, find the biggest bully, and knock his nose in.
Yeah. Well, like you said, I do picks every year. The first year that you guys won 2 years ago the Cup, I picked the Stars, and I was wrong. And then last year,
it was a good guess.
It was a good guess. Yeah, they were up there. But last year, I said the Pens are going to repeat. Remember, early, I said the Pens are going to repeat this year. And while I think they will make the playoffs this year, I don't think they're going to come in on a high rank. I think they're going to come in either wild card or just above wild card.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to fall in the first round. I think.
First round.
Way early, which is better than the Bruins are going to do. Because the Bruins will, again, fail to make the playoffs.
I think what the watchword now in the league is just young talent.
Yeah.
I think it's the players with the youngest, most active, healthiest
absolutely.
cores. 1 or 2 years under their belts at most, eager to get in there and prove themselves.
Like what about Jakey boy? What about Jake Gensel? Young guy.
Gensel's got a career ahead of him.
Yeah.
I don't think it's at Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh
possibly not.
I think Pittsburgh at the end of this year will get rid of Gensel. I think they will trade him up for either more draft picks or for somebody else young.
Look at last year when the big names that weren't, Sidney Crosby, Jonathan Taves, when the big names were Connor McDavid and Jack Eichel and Austin Matthews,
right. They're still the big names, man.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying is like it's all last season was like the new players had the spotlight, the rookies, the young guns.
The new guard is in.
Yeah.
Essentially.
This is the year they're really going to start taking off.
That's interesting.
That's why I think Edmonton's got a shot this year.
Yeah.
If McDavid stays healthy, Edmonton's going to be awful tough to stop going through the stretch.
Yeah.
Like heading into spring, like they're going to be a team that's for real.
Yeah.
And I think they have the guns to go all the way this year. McDavid was great last year, but now he's got a team behind him to help him.
Right.
And I think he's going to be kind of the new guard. I think before Sidney Crosby retires, he's going to put up one more cup. And I think that will cement him kind of like in the like Peyton Manning's of the NHL.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
sure.
That'll cement him as maybe not the best, but pretty close.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He's in the second layer of the pantheon.
Right now he's top 10.
He's going to be one of those guys that even people that don't watch the sport will know. Oh yeah, Sidney Crosby.
Right? Yeah, he's gonna have the same recognition as Gretzky and Lemieux and Gordie Howe to hockey fans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna know him. Yeah. He's already made a great case for himself.
People already.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He's made a great case for himself.
Still is far and away the biggest name currently in the NHL.
Again, with him too, though, it's also narrative is a big thing.
Yeah.
He's a pretty boy who doesn't do a lot of fighting, right?
Sure.
I mean, that drives people fucking nuts.
I think.
But see, that's the thing. He is a lot tougher than detractors think he is.
He's tough. He can hang in there.
Sure, but like the story is so irresistible.
Yeah.
People love to fucking hate that guy.
And here's the thing: as much as I dislike Tom Brady, one of the things nobody ever talks about with Tom Brady is that he's fucking tough, man.
Yeah.
This guy gets fucking laid out a lot. A lot of guys are gunning for Brady, and he takes some shots.
Yeah.
And stays tough. And that's Crosby's got that. You know what I mean? Like he's got that hang tough ability.
Yeah.
And he's not in there. You know what I mean? Like he's not in there taking punches. You know what I mean? He's not fighting.
Right.
You know, he can hang tough. He can take some shots and be
Thinking of
pretty firm.
Last year's the final for the I don't remember which game it was.
Oh, where he got
Stanley
checked
Cup.
in the head. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
thinking of the time he
that
had.
was Matty Niskanen on Capitals.
I seem to remember he had at one point PK Subban's head on the ice and was just
Mashing it in? Yeah.
knocking him off the ice
Yeah.
over and over again.
I remember that. His back was to the ref too, so
Yeah,
he was
right.
able to see it just like.
Jabbing his head into the ice.
I thought that was good.
Yeah, that was because his head injury was off of Matt Niskanen.
Right.
Which is something we talked about on the podcast.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
You know, when
This
it
was
happened.
in the this was in the finals when he did this when they were playing Nashville for the
Yeah.
cup.
Yeah, that was nasty.
That was nasty. I think you brought up the point then is that, you know, Niskanen's not a goon. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't do it
No.
intentionally.
Right.
It was,
No, he just plays on a team full of goons.
yeah, right, exactly. That's right. It was a bang-bang kind of play, and he, you know, it happened real fast.
What do you think's
But-
in store for the Preds this year?
Hopefully good things.
Yeah, the Preds have proven that fucking crowd is awesome.
You
That's
gotta love them.
that's a
You gotta love
hockey
them.
town, man.
Yeah, at the end of the season.
Immediately.
At the end of the season.
Your fault.
Oh, yeah, wow, how fucking brutal. I
shit.
love that. As a hockey fan, like,
I hated it because it was my Peds. But,
Yeah.
but Jesus.
But I mean, by the end of the series, you know, they were up on their feet, great show of respect from the city.
Yeah.
Chanting, you know, we want the cup, we want the cup.
Yeah, like they took to it right away.
Yeah, I love that.
They're a
I
hockey
love
city,
that.
Yeah, whereas like Atlanta, when the Thrashers were around, they were not. You know what I mean? Nashville took to that. The entire South took to the Preds
Right.
real quick.
They kind of stood in.
I don't know nothing about this newfangled ass soccer here, but
Yeah, right. They took to
Soccer.
it. I think
they got fights and beer, so it's
Yeah.
all by me.
I think the Preds have a shot to go up to the championship game.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like the Eastern Conference Championship. I think they have a shot.
How about that car they had covered with Penn's strip?
That was cool.
People were just
they were
like
brutal, man.
Everyone got a turn to hit it with a sledgehammer. The entire city.
Man, they were brutal. I'm telling you, they're a hockey city, man. They're ready.
The attitude is great.
Yeah, if they keep going, well, I'd like, okay, Bruins fans, so
Yeah.
Broad Street Bullies, Big Bad Bruins. Like, I love a little shit talking.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
It's great for the sport.
Yeah,
It's
it's
great
great
for
for
to have a
sport.
real rivalry going.
Yeah, some competitiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Nashville, whew, they proved it. I'll tell you who else to fucking look out for, man. The St. Louis Blues.
Oh,
St.
yeah?
Louis Blues. Watch out for the Blues, man. They've had 2 showings in the past 2 seasons in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they've both been strong showings.
Tarasenko is a sleeper champ.
Tarasenko is a sleeper champ, man. I'm telling you, and I might just be a Blues fan. I was watching a couple years ago when they blanked the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
And I was rooting for Chicago. By the end of that series, I was rooting for St. Louis.
You don't need to say blanked. We can say fucked.
Yeah,
It's an adult show.
they shut them out, man. And
Billy
like
Blank.
they won the first game. I remember Chicago put up numbers like 52 shots on goal.
Yeah.
And St. Louis won 1-0. like they fucking on 16 shots on net.
Yeah.
They slipped one past Corey Choke Artist Crawford, and like I mean they put up the Blues, man. They're for real.
Yeah.
Like, they're for real this year.
Yeah, I watched a couple of their games. They're a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, they're fun. They play Smash Mouth hockey.
Yeah.
I still think I'm maintaining that this year is going to be Edmonton's year.
Yeah.
So that's my way too early pick of the year. You guys have a way too early pick?
Honestly, I haven't watched enough to really say.
Put your fandom aside.
Yeah.
Put your fandom aside.
Of course.
Putting my fandom aside wouldn't matter because the Bruins are a mess.
Yeah.
But yeah, put your fandom aside and try.
Well, I don't have to put my fandom aside to say I'm not feeling confident in the Pens this year. I mean,
We'll see.
a lot would have to change.
Yeah.
And it always does.
Well,
does.
that's what we said 2 years ago.
Right.
And then everything changed and we won.
yeah, that's basically Sully changed their game.
Yeah, Sully changed.
Yeah.
Hell of a coach.
Yeah, he is a hell of a coach. It's going to be interesting to see how he adapts coming through the wintertime.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has yet to change, but I will just say, in the interest of being completely honest, I'm not feeling very confident.
Yeah.
This inconsistency is bugging me.
Yeah.
And if they don't figure out their game, or if they can't find a way to keep people from figuring out theirs, then I don't think we're going to have the kind of season we had last season.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Have you seen anything that makes you want to pick another team for the
Not
Cup?
really. I haven't watched enough. To
Okay.
be totally honest, I haven't watched enough.
I've watched just barely enough to say that I'm feeling a little bit Columbus.
Yeah. You know what? Columbus had a
just a
legit
touch.
shot last year, too.
Yes.
Yeah. The problem is when they play the Penguins, they do the same stuff every time. They've got skilled shooters.
Yeah, absolutely.
They've got great offensive talent.
They have Sergei Bobrovsky in net.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's Bobrovsky. And John Tortorella, veteran coach. It's a good team, but they fell into the same trap that they always do when they play the Penguins, which is they just resort to just beating them up, trying to beat them up.
Can't.
Penn sniffed that out last season and just skated circles around him.
Sure. You can't against the Pens are a team of skill shooters. They've never been a defensive team.
No.
Never. They've been a team of I keep making this analogy back to the Patriots. They're like a New England Patriots kind of style offense.
Yeah.
Like they run their team where, all right, well, we'll let our defense lax a little bit, but we're just going to score more points than you.
Right.
And that's how the Pens in the past 8 years have kind of played. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, I can't remember what game it was. I can't remember who they played. I wish I could though. I watched them play a ridiculous, beautiful defensive game.
Yeah.
That kind of blew my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
You're
know.
not used to it.
They're
Yeah.
capable of pulling. They're capable of pulling some ludicrous defensive plays.
Sure.
Towards the end of last postseason, their blocked shot totals were ridiculous.
Oh, they were nuts. Yeah. When they need to, they're in the pocket and they're there.
Yeah.
But I mean, traditionally, what gets them there is offense.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Yevgeny Malkin. You've got.
Malkin's such a big
do we
part of
have
it.
to say anything about like Sidney Crosby,
Yeah, right.
Phil Kessel? That first line is scary.
And let's not forget all the shooting defensemen.
Yeah.
Between Chris Letang.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Why can't I think of his name? We got him from Chicago.
Oh,
Trevor Daley.
Daley, right? Yeah.
Trevor Daley.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fast team.
Yeah, for sure, man. For sure.
That tries to take a lot of as many shots as they can, except on the power play for some reason. But
do we want to steer into college ball? Do we want to talk college football?
Well, I was getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We got. I wanted to talk. Go ahead, finish up, and then I will.
no, but I was just gonna say my point is I'm feeling good about Columbus this year.
Yeah.
Just because they show consistently that they have the potential. I think that they can, through the course of this season, work on their shortcomings and stand a real good shot.
They do.
Yeah.
They had a real good shot last year, and I would dare say they had a real good shot the year before. They just didn't execute it.
Well, they've messed us up, including last season. There were a number of
That's a
games
good
where-
pick.
Yeah.
We'll see, because I'm pretty much right now. I've been correct with my picks, so.
Yeah.
We'll see if Edmonton does it. I think Columbus stands a good shot. I think my backup pick would be St. Louis.
Yeah.
They have a really good shot to get in there and hold tight. I did want to get into college ball. Before that, I want to briefly touch on the NFL, which
Okay.
I'm not as big of a fan of.
Nah.
Not my favorite.
But we gotta talk about
But we got to
the
talk
Browns.
about it. We got to talk about the Browns.
Gotta talk about the fucking Browns.
I read an article that ESPN did a couple days ago after their loss to the Vikings in London.
Yeah. Right.
And the article basically summed up what I think a lot of Browns fans have been struggling to put into words.
Yeah.
And that's that Hugh Jackson went to the coach of the Browns. Hugh Jackson went to the podium after that loss and said basically, we know at this point right now we have to be perfect in order to win a game.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. And that's what he said. And basically what ESPN summed up was it's a team full of not just young players, but players that at this time don't have the talent to succeed in this league. Yeah. They don't have the talent to win in the NFL. They don't. And they have to be perfect in every aspect of the game to win a game. Like, they have to be perfect to win a game. And they don't have the talent to compete and just be at 80%.
But it seems to me, too, it really seems to me, from as much of the Browns as I've watched, which isn't that much, I watched a couple of games this season, right? It seems to me what loses games for the Browns is all these little fuck-ups, all these little false starts, all these little stupid penalties, all the lack of
interceptions.
A perfectly good 15-yard completion gets called back for a holding call back at the line of scrimmage.
Right,
it's like discipline is a huge part of it.
And part of that goes along with being young. And the other part is just inexperience. It's not even just the penalties. It's the biggest problem that Cleveland has had since they came back is that they get quarterbacks. They ruin quarterbacks. And like everybody's like, every Cleveland fan, if you go on the Facebook page, it's toxic. Every Cleveland fan's like, they're ready to shoot these quarterbacks. Like, get Kaiser out of there, start Hogan. And I fall into that trap too, you know? Like, get him out of there. He's throwing too many interceptions. Do this, do that. Mm-hmm. It's not the quarterback is not the end all be all for Cleveland's woes.
No.
They ruin quarterbacks in that city. They ruin them. Tim Couch was our first draft pick out of Kentucky in '99 when they came back, and everybody likes to shit all over Tim Couch.
Yeah.
If you put Tim Couch in Denver, if you put Tim Couch in Indianapolis, if you put Tim Couch in what's a good offense for him, the Eagles, Tim Couch succeeds in the NFL and only retires a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like at Kentucky, watching college ball back in the day. He was a good quarterback. He went out there, he stood and delivered in Cleveland behind an offensive line that regularly got him killed. Right. You know what I mean? No protection.
Yeah.
And that kid who was known for throwing the long ball and making plays outside the pocket got gun shy. He got afraid to throw the ball because he was getting hit as he threw, throwing interceptions. And he got scared.
So this is what you mean when you say they ruin quarterbacks.
They ruin quarterbacks.
They give them no cover. They put them in a bunch of bad situations that fuck their heads.
They put them behind a box that'll hold for a second and a half, and then say, "All right, make the throw under pressure every single time." Yeah. And you can't do it. The only quarterback they had that successfully did that sort of was Johnny Manziel, and that's because that's what he was used to doing when he played at A&M. And when Manziel played at A&M. I mean, he was one of the picks for Heisman that I got right. Yeah. He was a fucking joy to watch, man. That kid was fucking fun to watch. Yeah. I mean, and like, it's a shame that he kind of fucked up his career opportunity because he could have been the franchise quarterback. He really could have with some development and a little fucking adult attitude. Like, you know what I mean? Like. Yeah. He didn't have the right coach behind him. Pettin wouldn't start him because he was a shithead. And, good on Pettin for that. But Pettin also didn't seem to want to groom him at all. Yeah. Like, nobody wanted to give this kid a shot. And
here's a dumb question. Humor me. I'm an idiot. Why can we not seem to build a line that can protect the quarterback for long enough to pull off a play? Like, why can we not develop the team this way?
The simple answer is that injuries are another huge factor. Yeah. Injuries have plagued Cleveland since the renewal.
We had an entire sketch about it.
Yeah, we did. Right, exactly. No, I mean, but that's the simple answer is that they've drafted linemen. Joe Thomas, who every year he's played in the league has been a Pro Bowler. Up until a couple games ago, he took over 10,000 snaps consecutive in the NFL. That is a ridiculous statistic. He took over 10,000 snaps for 11 solid seasons.
Yeah.
And he's going to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah. It's just unfortunate that he has to play at a city like Cleveland. Joe Thomas has only won something like 40%, not even 30% of the games he's played in. That's horribly depressing.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, and this guy's like an 10-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
He's gonna be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And to like drive my point home, 2 games ago, he got injured. The snap streak is broken. He tore his tricep off the bone in play. And there's a great Hugh Jackson was mic'd up for that NFL, and like they see the injury, and the mic up always, when they show it on NFL films.
Is this the game that we watched at the Eagles?
It might have been.
I remember one of our guys got dropped on the field.
They're playing the Titans. Mm-hmm. Was that it?
It was Joe Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And they had Hugh Jackson mic'd up, and he's like, he sees the injury. He's like, "What's going on?" And then he looks over and he sees the field, and you just watch the color drain out of his face, and he goes, "Oh fuck!" Because Joe Thomas is the Browns. Yeah, like he's the center. So he's the guy who snaps the ball, offensive lineman. Mm-hmm. They have 2/5 of a good offensive line, and Joe Thomas is one of those players, and he's out for the season. He is Browns football. Yeah. And he's hurt. And that's the story of Cleveland. They've never been able to put together an offensive line. When they draft great offensive linemen, they get hurt. Yeah. Either in the preseason or at practice. They can't put it together.
What is this? Just fantastically bad luck?
God hates Cleveland. That's what it boils down to. I mean, God hates Cleveland. It's
stupid. It's ridiculous.
But they can't. I mean, and then they're just, poor drafting decisions and, putting Kenny Britt at wide receiver instead of keeping Terrell Pryor or Gary Barnidge, who's been in the league for a long time. Right? What a stupid fucking decision. The guy on your team, your tight end, has more catches than your receivers. Yeah. Getting rid of Gary Barnidge, dumb calls, dumb coaching calls. Yeah. And here's what I maintain.
He was on my fantasy league last season. Never steered me wrong.
Yeah. I maintain that it's a scam. I think Haslam's just in it for the money because the Browns do still draw revenue.
Yeah, shockingly.
Nationwide, worldwide, they still have a dedicated fan base for some against all odds. Like, it's making money, and it doesn't necessarily behoove them to put the time, money, and effort into drafting or creating a team and developing a team. Yeah. That can do that because they're making money hand over fist. Why waste more trying to give people what they want?
It's a real race to the bottom kind of thing.
I'll give you an interesting statistic about the Browns. Okay. The Browns are 0-25. They've lost their last 25 games.
Unbelievable.
The only other team... No, they're 0-25 on Sundays, excuse me. They're 0-25 on Sundays. They won Thursday Night Football against the Chargers last year. Okay. They're 0-25 on Sundays. The only other team in league history who's got a worse streak than that was the 76-77 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who went 0-26. Okay. So we will tie that record if we lose next week. Yeah. To... it's the one game that we maybe have a chance to win. I can't remember who it is. Okay. I can't remember who we're playing. But it's the one game on the rest of the schedule that we have a chance to win. And if we don't, we're going to lose. All the rest of our games are Sunday games. So they're going to make that record. And I maintain that if they drop every game this year, I don't think it's just going to be Hugh Jackson's going to be out at coach. We're going to have some changes. I think they're going to seriously consider moving the franchise. I think they're gonna move Cleveland out of Cleveland. You know what I mean?
And it's so sad to think about.
Yeah, because it's already happened once in our lifetime. Right. You know what I mean?
Everyone's waiting for the other shoe to drop on that one.
It's not. I think this is their year. I mean, this is the year that if they don't do something, this is the end. And I really believe that.
That's so sad.
On a lighter note, I don't really pay attention to a lot of football. Right. In the pros. Yeah, everybody's all the New England Patriots can't get it done. They should be in trouble. The Patriots are 5-2, and they're like, the Patriots have to be afraid. They dropped their first game to the Kansas City Chiefs, who is my way too early pick for the Super Bowl this year. I think this is finally the year the Chiefs get it done in the postseason and go all the way. I think the Patriots are going to make the playoffs, and I think they're going to hang tough. Everybody's talking shit like the Patriots should be worried. I don't think they need to be worried. I think they've got Tom Brady, and I think as long as he's at the helm there, that's going to be a dynasty.
Sure.
And I think he's not going to stop until he wins one more and cements his status as the greatest quarterback ever.
Or until he gets caught.
God, that pisses me off because Belichick could be our coach right now. We could be the ones defending Belichick.
Yeah, right.
And I want to so bad. I want to so bad. I want to be that guy. But I think the Chiefs are going to get it done this year.
Yeah.
I think that's the fan base to do it. They look tough. That defense is impeccable. I think they're going to do it. That's my way too early pick. I don't know if you guys have one you want to offer.
No, I don't. A part of me, like everyone else, is really hoping the Browns go 0-16 just for the parade.
Yes, sir.
But that's about the only thing I've got my eye on. Really, honest to God, fuck the NFL, man.
It's
fuck
not
the
fun.
NFL.
The no fun league. They took all the fun out of it.
All the no fun league.
All the stupid rules that don't make any sense that they have to explain to you on the fly whenever something happens.
Yeah, right. But I guess the flip side of that, if God hates Cleveland, God really loves Columbus.
Yes, it does.
Yes,
Yes, it does.
Yes, the space arachnid that we call God, it really likes Columbus.
Someone I work with, not a client, a coworker, refers to God as Sky Daddy.
Sky Dad.
So I guess this is the time to get into it.
Yeah.
I again look at the rankings.
Yeah.
This year, tonight, the College Football Playoff Ranking Committee assembled to put together the official first college football top 25 rankings for the year.
Yeah.
Everything else that they've put up where they put the top 25 numbers up on the board has been the Associated Press ranking.
Okay.
And the coaches poll ranking.
Yeah.
Which used to be how we gauged who the number 1 through 25 teams were. Mm-hmm. In the college football playoff era, they have a committee that's randomly selected of coaches, former players, athletic directors, fans. Condoleezza Rice was on the first college football. She's a huge football fan. Condoleezza Rice was on the first college football playoff committee.
Fascinating.
And argued, shout out to Condi, argued to put Ohio State in the playoffs, which we won the first year, I might add.
Yeah.
But they assembled the night to put the top 25 together. I have not looked at that.
Oh, boy.
But there's a lot of tough decisions.
Should I call it up?
You can if you'd like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's do it on the show live.
Number 1 and number 2 are pretty much not debatable at this point.
Yeah.
The question is, who do you put at number 1 and who do you put at number 2?
Gotcha.
Alabama, the buzzsaw that is Alabama football, headed by Nick Saban, who I think is probably the greatest coach I've ever seen coach football.
They were the ones who stuffed us on New Year's last year, right?
No, that was Clemson.
Oh,
That's
Clemson.
Dabo Sweeney.
Dabo.
But Alabama's number 1 in the AP poll. Georgia's number 2.
Yeah.
They're both undefeated. They both look incredibly tough. One of those two is number 1. The other one's number 2. There's no debate about that. You can't.
Which two have you said?
Alabama and Georgia.
Okay.
So I would assume they would keep Alabama at number 1. I don't know because Alabama's schedule hasn't been quite as tough as Georgia's.
Gotcha.
So they might.
Trying to find like a digestible list. Here we go. So where should I do all 25 or just like the top 10?
Yeah, go with the top. Go with the top 10.
Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds right.
So at number 10, Miami.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Or 7-0.
Yeah.
At number 9, the 8-0 Wisconsin.
The Wisconsin. Oh, they dropped the Badgers down. They were 5 in the AP poll.
Oh.
Wisconsin has the weakest schedule of all the power teams right now.
Okay.
And we'll see. The only thing that will put them up higher is if they beat Ohio State.
Okay. At number 8, with a 7-1 record, TCU.
TCU, go Horned Frogs! They just lost to Iowa State last Saturday, who is another one of my favorite teams. The Cyclones always upset somebody.
Yeah. At number 7 with a 7-1 record, Penn State.
They put Penn State behind Ohio State. Yes.
At number 6 with a record of 7-1, Ohio State.
The Ohio State University. Yeah, I knew they were going to drop us. I knew they were going to drop us down.
Number 5,
Notre Dame.
At 7-1 is Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. So they are out of the
Indeed,
playoffs. Okay.
At number 4 with a record of 7-1,
Notre Dame.
Clemson.
Oh,
What?
okay.
What?
At number 3, also with a 7-1 record, Notre Dame.
Wow, they put them way up there. Okay.
Shit.
At number 2 with an 8-0 record is Alabama.
Oh, they put Georgia number 1.
And
Okay.
Georgia's number 1 with
Wow. Okay.
Wow,
So
interesting.
that's fucking interesting.
That's fucking interesting.
So that is about as good as I think I could have picked that out. Because as it stood, Ohio State in the AP ranking was number 3. And I don't think that was a justified ranking.
Yeah.
And I think Oklahoma fans would have been really pissed if since Oklahoma beat us earlier in the year.
Yeah.
I think they would have been pissed if we got put ahead of them.
Sure.
Yeah.
So I think this is a pretty fair ranking. I did not expect Notre Dame to be top 4. That's a surprise.
Number 3 or
Number
They were
3.
number 3.
The only team, incidentally, that beat Notre Dame this year was Georgia. They beat Notre Dame in South Bend at Notre Dame Stadium. So, yeah, I mean, that's an impressive win. That's probably why Georgia's number 1.
Yeah.
So that's going to make things really interesting. I think that's a really fair ranking. I think that's a really fair ranking. Wisconsin, the only way Wisconsin has a shot to climb up is if they beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
No.
Okay.
Clemson, hanging tough. They still have a couple big games coming at the end. NC State is one that's going to be a tough one. Notre Dame has to play Well, they already beat USC. Notre Dame has to play Michigan. I think Notre Dame's going to hang tough through the top 4. The big questions are going to be Alabama and Georgia, because Alabama still has to play Auburn, who looks very tough.
Yeah.
Georgia railed over Florida. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
This is going to be an interesting season.
How long does the season go anyway?
We're through 8 games
Okay.
right now, where there's 4 more, and then championship week. There's 4 more regular season games. The last week of the season, the 12th game, is rivalry week, where most of the large rivalries are played. This is the Iron Bowl, Alabama, Auburn, Ohio State, Michigan, Washington State, which is going to be a big one to watch.
I wonder when Ohio State, Michigan is.
Cal, Stanford, Ohio State, Michigan, I think is usually the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
Typically.
Nice.
But yeah, that's gonna be interesting going through the stretch. The big question is Georgia and Alabama, because they're both SEC teams, and one would assume that they're going to play the SEC championship game against each other if they stay at the top. And then what do you do to decide the top 4 after that? Well, the top 4 are the teams that are going to go to the playoffs and play.
Okay.
So it's going to be interesting. Ohio State basically has to win out the rest of their season, and they can't look weak to have any shot. Oklahoma plays the Bedlam game next week against Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Bedlam is the name of that rivalry, the Bedlam game.
It's a good one.
Both quarterbacks are Heisman candidates.
Okay.
Baker Mayfield at Oklahoma, who threw all over us earlier in the year, and Mason Rudolph at Oklahoma State, who's put up even larger numbers.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. So those two are going to have a shootout. If Oklahoma State tops Oklahoma, that's going to make a case for Ohio State.
Mason Rudolph sounds like a super villain.
Yeah, he does. doesn't he?
Sounds like a Captain America villain specifically.
Mason Rudolph sounds like he like owns. He's the head of like this giant media conglomerate, and it turns out like he's been involved in like human trafficking, and the good guy has to stop him.
I'm excited, man. This is going to be a good. This has already been a great year for college football. A lot of upsets.
Yeah.
TCU got bumped off earlier this year, or a couple weeks ago, against Iowa State. The Cyclones, who also beat Oklahoma, which is beautiful. Love to see that. Penn State, we got to talk about that game last week.
Yeah, let's talk about it because I didn't get to see it.
Oh my God! Probably the biggest game of the year so far. Penn State, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Penn State 2 in the country at the time would have probably still been one. Yeah, would have probably been 2 in the country.
Yeah.
If they would have held out and beat Ohio State, you would have put them at least two. At least 2. So that comeback win. One of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, I watched the highlights with you guys, and holy shit.
What a fucking game, man.
Yeah.
That must have been so much fun to watch. Like, a comeback like that is just like all encompassing.
One of the best comeback wins I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because they just wouldn't go away. They just wouldn't go away through the whole game. Yeah, so that was incredible. Notre Dame putting up numbers, man.
Yeah.
I'm usually the first one to call the overrated bell against Notre Dame. And USC, at the start of this year, looked like they had a legitimate shot to go all the way.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame shut them out. Arizona State beat USC, the Sun Devils, unranked. And then the next week, Notre Dame went out and just whooped the shit out of them. That's a huge rivalry, Notre Dame-USC, and Notre Dame embarrassed them. So Notre Dame is not overrated this year.
Wow.
They have a legitimate shot at a championship.
Jeez. That's cool.
So, yeah, there's going to be some interesting shit, man.
Yeah, I haven't watched any college football. I think we should remedy this the next time we can.
We should.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. New Year's Day
Yes.
is the first round of the college football playoffs.
Gotcha.
Well, the only round of the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
So the top 4 teams will both be playing that day. It's also the day of the Winter Classic. So
Yeah.
the day after New Year's, or New Year's Eve, we'll party, and then presumably we'll watch sports all day.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And then the next week is the championship game. So we'll see who that is.
The Winter Classic, incidentally, is the New York Rangers and Buffalo Sabres,
No kidding.
which will be a good time.
That sounds fun.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here.
Do it.
I'm going to set my fandom aside.
Do it.
Setting my fandom aside, I think Ohio State is still going to pull one out this year for the championship.
Yeah?
I think.
I hope so.
I think the Bedlam game, you're going to see Oklahoma drop to Oklahoma State.
Okay.
Who did you say was number 4 right now?
Number 4 is
Clemson. I think Clemson drops one more game this year.
Yeah.
I think Clemson drops one more game. I think Ohio State comes in on the 4th bid. I think Notre Dame wins out.
Yeah.
I think Alabama loses to Georgia in the SEC championship game.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, let's say I'll put Ohio State 3rd. I'll put Alabama 4th. I'll put Georgia at number 1 coming in at the top seed.
Yeah.
Notre Dame at number 2. And I think the first round you're going to see Ohio State and Notre Dame. And I think we're going to beat them like we always do.
Yeah.
And then I think you're going to see Alabama beat Georgia.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see a rematch of the Sugar Bowl a couple years ago. Nice. And I think we're going to beat them again.
Awesome.
I think that's your championship.
That's super
And that's
cool.
that's setting my fandom aside. I think they're on the upswing.
Yeah.
If they have a shot.
I could see it.
We'll see how that turns out.
Yeah, college football is something I don't have a lot of insight into. It's
Significantly more exciting than pro football.
Yeah.
Significantly more exciting. Lot better chance for big plays.
Yeah.
Saquon Barkley, incidentally, the running back for Penn State, is still going to win the Heisman because he still put up an incredible game against Ohio State, even though they lost. It's his Heisman trophy to lose at this point.
Indeed.
I mean, nobody's going to top him.
Szechuan broccoli.
Szechuan Broccoli.
The number 1.
He's incredible, man. He's incredible. He runs like Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, maybe it's time we took a little break. Have we rounded it all out?
I think we rounded it all out.
Awesome.
All right, kids.
All right.
We'll be back with recommendations and what we learned.
All right.
Oh, that was your chair. I was like, what is making that squeaking noise? I thought something happened with the computer there for a minute.
Yeah, it's catching fire. Don't worry about it.
All right, and we're back. I was like, all right. Hope you guys enjoyed whatever we put in the center there. If anything at all.
Nope.
Probably not, because we're real sleepy. This
is going to be a early
Yeah,
night.
it's an early night, I think. We put a bunch of pasta in our bellies.
That's, you know what? The 2 times that we've begun the podcast by eating pasta first,
yeah, it's been rough.
it has translated into, like,
It's
what
been rough.
the fuck
Yeah,
are
we probably
doing?
should have started sooner. That's okay. we'll be back we got a bunch of sketch ideas for next week.
Yes,
so
we do.
we'll record a bunch of them and maybe backlog them.
Yeah, next week we'll get through it a little earlier.
Well, let's move right along here and let's get this fucking shit done with.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's go with recommendations. Ben, you want to start us off?
Sure. I would like to recommend. I don't believe either of you guys have seen it yet. But if you have, you can back me up, of course. Mm-hmm. A couple of weeks ago, Aubrey and I went to see Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have not.
I have not seen this either.
Look, there have been what 5 Spider-Man movies since 2002.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
The first 3 with Tobey Maguire, the second 2 with what's-his-face, Garfield.
Yeah.
And this is probably the single best iteration of Spider-Man in a movie that I've ever seen.
Man, it looked good.
It is. It brings it back to, what it's all about. Spider-Man's Peter Parker's an awkward high schooler.
Yeah.
Trying to fit in. He's not even a very physically imposing guy.
No, he's just a little punk kid.
He's a smart ass. He's just a good old kid making his way in New York City.
Yeah.
And it really is the way they tie it into the now massive Marvel Cinematic Universe that they've constructed is really good. Mm-hmm. It leads to our villain Michael Keaton as Vulture, who is fantastic in that role.
I love Michael Keaton.
He's so good.
I'm so glad he's back.
Yeah, me too.
He's so good. Like what it actually is, and this is like right at the beginning of the movie, so like I'm not spoiling anything by telling you this, but he's part of like a cleanup crew that was contracted to clean up after the big alien fight in the first Avengers, the Chitauri.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they invade in the first Avengers, him and his company are contracted to help clean up the city.
Okay.
Of all this like alien wreckage. He gets real familiar with this, discarded alien technology.
Yeah.
Until an outfit that's run by it's like a joint cooperative effort between the government and Tony Stark.
Yeah.
They come in to take over and basically put all these guys out of business.
They dirker derp?
They dirker derp.
They dirker derp?
They took my germ.
So Michael Keaton's Vulture basically single-handedly creates this alien goods black market.
Yeah.
And that's where the story kind of begins is because it's years after the Avengers, and he's like this black market alien goods guy. It's a really good setup.
Yeah.
And just the lad who plays Spider-Man. The British lad, the young British lad.
The guy from Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah, whose name I can't remember.
Yeah, the guy from Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
He's
the guy from Hacksaw Ridge?
Yeah, okay.
That guy.
I want to go to the war, but I don't want to fight anybody.
Is that him?
Yeah. Oh, that's him. Yeah.
Well, anyway, he's super good. He's kind of the perfect choice for Peter Parker, in my opinion. I think with like the Tobey Maguire and the Andrew Garfield casting choices.
Garfield. I'm sorry.
It all kind of goes off of the. It all kind of goes off of the old like 60s Spider-Man with like the close cut cropped hair. He's kind of tall, kind of bit athletic in build.
Yeah.
Doesn't really sell the the little geek kind of thing. Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Tom Holland is his name. I'm sorry.
Spooderman.
Spooderman.
I wrote.
But
I just wrote Spooderman Hermkerman.
But Tom Holland really does.
Yeah.
And as with every other Marvel movie, it's well written. It's hilarious when it needs to be, and tense when it needs to be. It's super good. Just go see it.
It looks honestly,
really good.
it looks awesome, and I don't really know why I haven't seen it yet. Other than I'm like always out of the loop with movies now.
It's so good. Early reviews, I'm looking forward because it comes out this Thursday.
Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok. Early reviews of the new Thor say it's like probably some of the best work Marvel's done yet.
No shit. That's kind of surprising to me, actually.
When you get to Valhalla, tell them Chevy sent you.
Yeah, why haven't we done that?
We have to do that. We'll do it. We'll do it.
We got to pick back up on our Chevy Like a Rock
Like a
series. Actually, it'd be a lot easier to do for the podcast too.
Yeah.
We kind of should get back on that one.
So anyway, that's my recommendation. See Spider-Man Homecoming.
Good one. I will eventually.
Yeah, that's a good one. Well, that's up to you, buddy. What do you got?
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about it, and I haven't finished it yet. But my recommendation is
The Old Man and the Sea.
The Old Man and the Sea.
Good book, though, for real.
Yeah. Let's talk about baseball at the ocean.
No, I want to recommend Mindhunter on Netflix.
Oh?
I actually want to recommend this.
Oh?
Yeah. Why, yes.
Isn't that old Chris Angel thing?
No. But close. But not really. No, yeah. No, actually. Mind Freak. Is that still available
Mind Freak.
anywhere?
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
who cares?
Chris Angel pretending to do magic, and then people pretending to be surprised. Now, Mindhunter is this. It's pretty cool. I believe it's based on a real guy, for one, and it's all about the developmental the development of like this theory of behavioral psych or whatever. I'm really, it's still just beginning for me. I'm only a couple episodes in, but this FBI agent who's basically kind of a young guy. You know, he's not established in the FBI, but he's got these ideas about aberrant psychology or like. You know, people who are... He's basically hunting serial killers, right? This is like when the FBI is just starting to realize that there's a new kind of crime happening that they don't have a grasp on. Right? So, like... as opposed to all these other... like, all the traditional means of police work around a murder or, something like that.
All the traditional memes.
All the traditional memes.
You got Scumbag Steve.
You got your bad luck Brian.
You got Foul Bachelor Frog.
Good guy Greg.
Good guy Greg.
All those traditional memes.
Traditional memes.
These are new memes.
Troll little guy.
Dat boy.
That boy. Oh shit, what up?
Oh shit. What up? No, yeah, like all the ways that they investigate crimes prior to this point don't apply. Because the motives and the type of criminal, like everything about this new wave of crime that's starting to happen in like the 60s, like early 60s, they're not prepared for. So this guy is sort of like developing his own theory, of what motivates these people, and trying to categorize and identify risk factors and just, like help police basically work with this. It's really interesting because they're also like, it's like this guy he's FBI, he's kind of a square, but he's also like he's got this girlfriend who smokes pot and he smokes pot with her. He's like sort of like just on the outside of like being totally straight-laced.
That one college professor that in his spare time he hits the bong like crazy.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is there's this really funny thing happening because there's there's like a sexual revolution happening too, and he's sort of like quietly suggesting that maybe we should take pussy eating off the deviant behavior list. There's like
deviant behavior.
this is a time where
bread and butter.
this is a time where they're like, the attitudes towards this are starting to change.
Yeah.
And the FBI has all these things.
Thank God.
Categorized as deviant behaviors that a lot of like Americans are like waking up to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. It follows like just a weird time for law enforcement, for psychology, I guess, or
Sure.
It's
Pop psychology was really big back in those days too.
yeah.
Like bad pop psychology.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of you do get the sense of exactly how much of like contemporary thought at that time might be in like a real infancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially since there was a lot of new age shit being interwoven into it at the time too.
Like a bunch of like completely unscientific bullshit being slung around by people who called themselves doctor.
Right.
There's he regularly interviews on the show a guy named Ed Kemper. I don't know if you know anything about Ed Kemper. I did not, but apparently he's a real dude who killed his mother and cut her head off and fucked her neck or mouth or whatever. I don't know. Like he's like genuine like terrifying motherfucker. Yup. Yeah, that guy's real. And apparently, from what I understand, the dude that plays him in the performance is like spot on.
Wow.
Yep.
How do you spot on that role?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you listen to a lot of tapes.
It's called method acting. You cut your mom's head off and fuck her neck off.
Right, exactly.
How else are you going to know how to play the role?
Yeah, you gotta fuck your mom's head sometimes. For some reason.
Not comfortable.
Oh, wait.
So anyway, definitely recommend this. Like I said, I haven't finished it. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool show, and I think it's just fascinating to think about the fact that there was a time when all this stuff was like pretty new to law enforcement.
Yeah.
And attitudes were changing and developing. So I don't know. At least for its historical significance, his historical significance. Check it out.
Yeah.
It's a decent one.
That's diggable, man.
Yeah.
That's diggable planets.
I certainly dig it.
Do you dig it?
Like,
you.
That's radical.
Can you dig it?
All right. I'm gonna let you guys pick. You want to do a live album from the '60s, or do you want to do a live album from the '90s?
I'm thinking 90s.
I'm thinking 90s too.
You want to go '90s?
Let's go 90s.
So I'm going to recommend my favorite live performance that I've ever heard.
Okay.
It's an unplugged album by Alice in Chains.
Ooh.
So
That's interesting right off the bat.
yeah, Alice in Chains, 90s like alternative metal kind of group, real grungy. My favorite harmony in music is lead singer Lane Staley and lead guitarist Jerry Cantrell with their weird amelodic harmony, like haunting, deep, spooky kind of harmony that they put together.
Yeah.
So to kind of give you some backstory for this album, Alice in Chains had taken a break from touring for a pretty good long while because Lane Staley had a horrible drug problem.
You do.
Yeah. Lane Staley's story, I think, is like the saddest in rock and roll. If you know the story. I mean, it's horrible. So basically, his father was a drug addict when he was a kid and like left the family, and Lane got hooked up in drugs and like did his thing and like got in Alice in Chains and then like cleaned up his life and like got his shit together and reconnected with his father like while he was in the band. And while they were getting big, and his father was like, "No, I'm clean." And basically, what ended up happening is his father was not clean, and ended up bringing Lane back into the lifestyle, like getting high with him, and and they would just enable each other. They'd hang out and get stoned, and like when his father, went back, got arrested, and went back through treatment again. Cut ties with him, cut ties with him. So Lane Staley was like left with, the heartbreak of rejection by his father twice and a pretty vicious drug problem. And they took a break from touring because his drug problem was so bad. And so cut to Unplugged. It's 1996. They get asked to do this show. And it's the first time that they've played live in like 2 years.
Yeah.
Lane Staley comes out on the stage and he just looks like a ghost. I mean, he's sickly. He's like gaunt. Like he's like in shambles, man. Like
he's not in recovery at this point. I mean, he's still right in the thick of it.
Yeah, I mean, like, and like the other thing that's worth noting is like he tried a lot and just couldn't kick it. So when he comes out on stage, like everybody's like super happy to see them because they hadn't toured in so long, and like, you know, the band like just wouldn't address questions about him because it was tough. But like he comes out and he just looks sick. Like he just looks very sick and ill. And he's wearing sunglasses, you know what I mean? And he's gaunt. Yeah. And they come out and play just one of their music is almost better suited for acoustic than it is for, you know, amplifiers and distortion pedals. Like they come out and put together one of the most, I don't even want to say blistering because that's not the right word, but just one of the heaviest performances of acoustic music I've ever heard. Lane Staley comes on and then nails that harmony that they do so well on the recordings.
Yeah.
Like they nail it together, and he just puts this like testament to his strength as a rock vocalist.
Wow.
There's a lot of great songs that are done. They do an acoustic version of Rooster, Sludge Factory, Nutshell. Down in a Hole, one of the best. Even if you just listen to Down in a Hole, just to hear Lane Staley sing that song, I mean, it's one of the most beautiful vocal performances I've ever heard, and it's just so heavy.
Yeah.
And they go out there and really fucking nail it. Lane Staley didn't make it. I mean, he lasted longer. He died in like 2000, 2001. Yeah. But he was a shell. Like he was a recluse. He never left his apartment. He weighed 90 pounds when he died. You know what I mean?
Jeez.
Just like it's the like if you look up the saddest, like the story top to bottom, it's just the saddest thing ever. So to hear that album and to hear kind of like his last grasp of performance.
Yeah. It's like putting it out there for the record.
It's putting out there for the record. I mean, it's just incredible. It's a beautiful performance, and I'd recommend that to anybody. Go buy that album or listen to it on Spotify or whatever. Just check it out. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful.
I feel like I need to hear that now.
It's beautiful. It's really beautiful. Well, I mean, like, sorry to end it on a lower note, but
oh man, we need to pick up here.
Sorry, we went low there.
Well, last week I dragged us down into the fucking muck.
Yeah, that's all right.
With a topic all about doom and gloom.
That's all right. It was a good topic, man. Yeah. It was a good topic.
Man, I'll say I'm definitely thinking cats and rainbows for my next episode. Jesus Christ!
Sorry, I didn't mean to drag everybody down. Well, I guess we should get this shit over with.
Did we learn something?
Did we learn anything?
Did we learn anything?
I learned that pedophilia will derail your movie real quick.
That's a great way to get people to stop watching immediately. That fucked me up.
Well, like the ABCs of Death, they go through like each different directors wrote and directed a different thing for each letter of the alphabet,
Literally
a different way to die.
Shorts.
Yeah,
and we got to K.
Yeah, I want to say it was.
We got to K, and then pedophilia.
No, we got to L.
We got to
L.
Yeah.
That's a real good way to derail it. Like I even like the suggestion of pedophilia.
I know. I'm sure they wouldn't have gone
I don't
too
think
graphic with it, of course, because then Netflix wouldn't ever let it on.
Yeah.
But like I said, I am going to watch and see what happens because I do want to know what L stands for.
Yeah.
But anyway,
it just fucked me right up.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, I felt bad.
I learned that H is for hydroelectric diffusion.
Yes. Yeah. Hey,
that was a great one.
That was a great one.
That was so bizarre.
It was weird.
I'm torn between saying watch this and definitely don't watch this.
Right, exactly.
If you like art house shit, watch it.
Yeah, but just be aware it gets really fucking fucked up. Yeah,
it's real fucked up. Go ahead.
I didn't learn. My question was, does anyone trick or treat anymore?
Yeah, there wasn't really that many trick or treaters on the street, man.
I understand I was the Scrooge that put the sign out front and put the bowl out there.
Please don't talk to me. Yeah.
It's basically.
Don't knock on this door, kids.
It did not really seem like that. I didn't see too many. Every time I popped my head out, it was like a tumbleweed going by. A tumbleweed in a Batman costume.
Right. There's a little tubby baby flamingo just rolling down the road.
I did learn that God hates Cleveland.
God does hate Cleveland.
Yeah.
God hates the shit out of Cleveland.
I learned that all hail to the Third Reich of shitting on gamers.
Thanks, NBC.
Thanks, NBC.
I learned that there was such a thing as the heyday of Columbine.
Yep. Yeah, the heyday of Columbine. I learned that it actually might be the end of the Cleveland Browns. It's like we're actually probably at that
This
point.
might be it. This certainly would be the straw that broke the camel's back, right?
Yeah, this is the end.
I learned that Szechuan broccoli is number one.
Szechuan broccoli is definitely number one.
Szechuan broccoli, baby.
I learned that pro football sucks.
Yeah.
Staying in the same vein, it's not very good. It's not very good.
It's not very good. It's not very good.
It's not very good.
The no fun league.
The no fun league.
I don't want anyone having
I don't want your rules. I don't care if it bounced out of the goal line. It's still a touchback. You got anything over there, Ben?
Not really.
That's all I learned.
I learned.
About right shit.
All right. I learned that the new guard is in the NHL.
Yeah.
And finally, I learned that it's 2017. Fuck that. Pay me.
Fuck that. Pay me.
Pay me.
I will compromise on anything.
Yeah. Well, boys, I think we're successful.
Alrighty. Another episode 23.
God damn it. God damn it. I was going to say, you're like, because you said, I know that pisses you off that all I had was black coffee and cigarettes.
And you almost
and
said,
I almost
what
said,
pisses me
what
off.
pisses me off is when you list the episode. God damn it. We were so close.
Lucky 23. Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Take that.
Jim Carrey's the number 23. That movie. God damn it.
That movie no one saw.
We made it all the way to the end of the show.
23.
And you had to just fucking blow it up in my face, didn't you?
23.
Didn't you? 23.
23.
From the glass like tanks of Old Patron.
We tender this beer as a tribute to your good taste.
23.
23.
God damn it.
Yep.
All right, guys. Next week on the Three Dude Podcast, Ben is hosting.
Yes.
It'll be episode 24.
It sure
and
will.
then you're going to get to bring that up. Wow, we're back. It's the 24th episode. Oh, boy. I know you guys can't read the SoundCloud page. So I'm going to do it for you. God damn it.
Yep, you're welcome.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Next
or day, depending on when you're listening to this.
Bye-bye, babies.